Welcome, Thursday afternoon edition of The Spin. Day later.
Unacceptable. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
Is that really the Jason Hopper?
No one will ever know. You need a check mark, Jason.
Is that like the Scott Panchik?
No, I think that's the real one.
That was really Scott, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely really Scott too.
I love how he commented on Instagram that was not me. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, he had no idea until I put that clip up. Welcome. Day off. Figured we'd catch up. There's way too much to talk about. Mr. J.R. Howell will be joining us at some point here. His daughter had a little bit of a boo-boo, and he had to go deal with that. So hopefully he'll get here sooner than later. We'll talk about some of that. I'll do some special blind rankings. Maybe we'll keep JR for that. I think you might appreciate that. We'll answer the question.
JR's a big fan of blind rankings.
Oh, I'm sure he'll love it. Do we hate the WFP? We'll answer that question for you. Barry McCockner wants to know a good question. Where is your WFP gear? The good answer is it's right here.
Got it on.
Would a hater wear WFP gear?
I actually think we're 3 different levels on that question.
Do you?
Yeah, and it's definitely from left to right, but we'll get there when we get there.
It would be like a political show. It'll be fun.
Everybody thinks
we
I'm
can.
Like the biggest hater.
No. I think you're Republican.
Me? You think so? Okay. All right. And then we'll talk about some semifinals and penalties and whatever else in the CrossFit world that we feel like talking about.
It's a meandering show.
Yeah. I mean, whenever JR shows up, we will know. We're always late. It's just
24 hours and 2 minutes late.
That's right. We might be jumping around. We may have a special guest later on. I don't know. We're trying to pull something off here. We'll see. All right. As always, though, we'll start with viewer comments. Go subscribe. This is your reminder. Again, we'll never get to 10,000 if you don't subscribe by watching. All right. Well, since I was out last week, you guys generated quite a few comments.
The volume of comments was crazy.
Yeah, it was good job, guys. I had a lot to choose from. It was hard to choose from a lot of them.
It's because I didn't look at the comments last week. They were like, all right, now's our chance.
Yeah, I watched that back and I was like, viewer comments. You read one, and then you're like, all right, we're up. Next. Thanks.
Dude, he struggled on that one too. That one took 5 minutes. But when you have the most accurate representation of CrossFit fitness ever known to man, it's gonna bring some comments there.
Natalie, that's a good question. Do we ever buy Tyler a baby present? No, we're just gonna give him cold hard cash, so he can buy whatever the heck.
I'm jealous of that,
John.
I told Tyler, dude. I said, look,
you're gonna buy a PlayStation.
I said, tell Jeanette to put something on there, and then she's like, everybody had bought everything by then. So
yeah.
Now
it will go to diapers and all the diapers
and C4 and
what's any
you're
updates,
on Rockstar these days.
Any updates on that?
I'm trying to work on our Rockstar sponsorship, by the way. Any updates?
Yeah.
We'll see. If I disappear, do you know what's happening?
Oh, I'm talking about the Rockstar sponsorship. I don't care about it. I'm just kidding. But it could happen like at any moment, right?
Like literally.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Rockstar or the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Jason Hopper enjoyed hanging with Tyler this weekend.
I actually took my sunglasses off so people knew who I was.
Unlike others.
I actually love that, dude.
I loved it.
How did Hiller pull that off?
He should take he should have had secret videos I'm in the cave. But and then show Bruce Wayne entering Wayne building and you know what I'm saying? Like when people don't know who he is. That's his disguise.
He should have filmed it that way, the whole reel that you get when Batman leaves the Batcave, he fires up his Jeep, all that stuff.
It's like Bruce Wayne is Batman's disguise, and then that's what Hiller should have done.
Could you guys tell by the footage? I don't know that he was there all 3 days.
I think he just snuck in for one day and left.
I think it was Friday.
I don't. Go ahead.
there was one moment where I thought I saw him, and then like I turned around and that person was gone, and I was like, my head's just fucking with me. And then like I saw that he was there, and I was like, did I see him?
And he saw you, so you'd be like,
oh.
You know what's crazy is like all it would take is one person to recognize him.
It's over.
And then it's over because people would start talking like, "Oh, did you see Hiller?" And then it'd just be everybody would be talking about it.
If I
big
was
thank you.
I'd just be like, "What's up, Andrew? All right."
Yeah, but you're not.
Take it easy.
You're not the regular fan. I think it'd been more like, I can't believe Hiller's actually at this.
Yeah. So. Big thank you to Sarah Cox for letting me hang out in the VIP suite.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get to that after we read the comments. All right, first one at Dad versus Dad Bod 8188. I'd honestly pay for a show with Caleb and Bryson. I mean, there's super chats. We can do this.
I think they do that on
Is he meaning Caleb and Bryson? Or
Caleb and Bryson.
Okay.
Yeah, those two guys. Super chat at Dad.
I think once you saw the show, you might ask for a refund, but we can do it though.
Hey, there's no refunds, so go for it. Let's see. At Martin's Juno, this C Beaver guy doesn't know anything about CrossFit as a sport.
I don't think he claims to.
We were short on people, guys. Like we had to get some.
However, at C Beaver wanted to say no, but I know a lot about your mom. Seems like a nice lady, but I'm not calling her back. So, boom, roasted. At Carter Peterson 7, James over Dallin, referring to your Games Mountain.
Yes.
W2F is going on in here.
Yeah. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I think I should start going by John Stradamus from now on because if I put it out there, that's what's going to happen. You guys will start listening sooner than later.
Yeah. We'll get to this. At Misha 1147, more mountain talk. Humiliating. Mountain of mud. I don't care about online. Puts Meha over Brooke, both because of what they did online.
Well, when that's all I have to go off of, you tell me the in-person competition that Brooke did where she deserves to be ahead of Miha.
Dude,
there's
Meha
not one.
Good.
There's not one. And I bet you she regrets not doing Mayhem now. I mean, I hope she does Syndicate, but
I hope so.
Right now, one's got a games ticket and one won the online semifinals now that all the penalties have come out, which is wild. And I think she's earned that spot on the bottom row of the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, she looks very, very good. And I mean, those are hard events, or like it wasn't like they were open workouts.
Yeah, and it's not that it doesn't matter at all. It's that it matters less than what Mayhem in person is. Does that make sense? And like I look at the World Fitness Project, and I know we'll get to it because I said that didn't matter either. I'm saying it's not Rogue. It's not Wadapalooza. It's not one of the biggest CrossFit Games events there is, even though it has a huge talent pool. I'm aware, but clearly, like, when you got Vellner and Laura being 70% of themselves, it's not as serious as I would say like the three biggest competitions that we had, or people vying for their game spots like they were at Mayhem. So the in-affiliate online semifinal matters. World Fitness Project matters, but at a lesser rate than those other ones do. That's what I'm referring to when I say it doesn't matter. Yep. It's like when I say I don't care about the people that don't matter. All of a sudden, when freaking one of the Saria Miha wins the online semifinals, oh shoot, you all of a sudden matter. I should probably figure out what the freak you're about. Like, you get what I'm saying? But if you're 32nd and somebody says you have potential, I don't care about you until you show me that you mean something. And that's how that works. I don't know why people have have complicated this or have a hard time understanding this.
Me either. The mountain is so simple.
The mountain is fair.
It is.
And you tell me, you guys tell me. Okay, you put Brooke and Syria. We need to figure out how to say it.
I think it's Syria.
Syria or Syria? I like Syria a lot better.
I don't know.
Saoirse?
That's not Saoirse. Yep. Definitely not Saoirse.
Soraya. You tell me which one's done more for this year. Which one's deserving of being higher this year for what they've done this year.
Yeah. Fergie for $1.99. What is the favorite Knoxville restaurants? I bet it's within 5 miles of McDonald's, but I'm not sure from there.
Okay, so here's what you want to do. The best restaurant in Knoxville is actually in Clinton, which is not in Knoxville. You want to go to Big Ed's Pizza in Clinton. There you go.
Hold on, I need because we're still confused here. World Fitness Project was far superior talent-wise to Wadapalooza and women. Men's field's not even close. Tanner, you're right. I think this comment is biased because you were there, but the prize at the end of it is not $100,000. Half of the field is not trying. Everybody is peaking out for this competition. Everybody wants to be great. People are just showing up for a paycheck, Tanner. It's big time different. And yes, the fittest of the world are still there. They're still competing. I think half of it, and Tyler said this earlier, I think half of the field is competing and half of the field is just there for their paycheck. And that's fine. But I don't, maybe it was Bryson.
Okay, I said it.
I thought you said
Sounds
it.
good.
But that's a different
like
competition. Whenever you're people are trying and people aren't trying, then the people who are trying, your lowest spot you're going to get is 11th place because the other 10 are not trying. And I know you're trying, Tanner, but you're not fit enough to matter yet in a competition that's like that. And maybe you'll get there one day, but right now you don't make a difference in those kind of competitions. But I hope you do one day, Tanner. I love you, Tanner. You're great.
There you go. Tanner was at both.
And what place did you come in both those competitions?
Oh, God.
Because I'll ask Dallin, and I bet Dallin gives me a different answer. So if you two are giving me different answers, what's that mean to you?
Dallin's a liar.
Well, let's get off of it. You're great, Tanner.
Go love it, Tanner. Let's see. Misha continues. 3-day competition with literally all the big names in the sport. Not a single word on it. Pathetic. In quote. They won't try because they get paid. Get over yourself and admit when you're wrong. Love the show and watch every week, but this was just very childish.
Is this us transitioning?
Are we jumping 2 topics? I feel like we should have different viewer comments.
This was two comments by the same viewer. So
No.
Are
we switching sections here?
To do we hate the WFP? He's saying
no.
Okay.
This was a comment by Misha. Frankie said, I know Spin is so pissed that the WFP is going really well, even though he's going to pretend it doesn't bother him.
You remember in COVID? I'm sorry. You remember during the 49ers game?
Yeah.
When everything was like, yeah, we should definitely go to the 49ers game. And then it was like, oh, maybe we should watch the 49ers game from the cheap seats. And then it was like, oh, maybe we should watch it from the parking lot. And he's like, oh, maybe the 49ers suck. Sometimes that's what happens.
Well, I'll answer the question. I'm not sure I'm pissed. But yeah, well, I watched it.
I think you would have rather them not be great. Is that fair to say?
Oh, you mean you're saying we're biased?
No, just what you want to happen.
No, that's what
I'm saying.
I was watching
I
Clydesdale on my way home, and he had Kotler on, and I asked some questions about it. And I think between listening, and we'll get more into it, but I think listening to Training Think Tank's show that was put out this morning, and listening to Kotler, and everything I've started to hear, like when they talk about and what I've been seeing of what athletes are doing, it's starting to turn into what my fear is. And I'll explain it later. So just stay with me.
Oh God.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Spin is absolutely correct. I don't know what we're talking about, but Spin is absolutely correct in what he's going to say. It doesn't, you could still have your opinion, but I'm not gonna
your opinion, but you're wrong.
Yeah. All right. All right. We got a CrossFit not cringe story. So it's a little long, but I think it's definitely worth it. So you got to stay with me.
Oh my God.
The account user is the pen is blue 1 or the penis blue 1. I'm not sure which one it is, but the pen is blue 1 is what I'm going to go with.
That's a good one.
All right. CrossFit not cringe. This is wild. So first day at a new gym, 5 a.m. class, and I plan to get there like 15 minutes early to get my waiver signed and account activated. I had taken 2 weeks off of training, which means I was eating like crap. As I drive to the gym, the pre-workout starts brewing in my belly, mixing with 2 weeks of bad decisions. When I park at the gym, nobody is there yet. I'm running around the gym in a panic, trying to find a safe place to relieve myself. There wasn't one. At this point, there isn't enough time to leave. The end was near. I got back into the back seat of my 4Runner and filled a large McDonald's cup to the brim with the unspeakable. At this moment, people start showing up to the gym.
Pause. There's no way I could trust myself to land in that small of an area, especially like if it's explosive, you're blowing out everywhere. And I'm definitely not doing that in the 4Runner.
It's not their first time, Tyler.
This ain't the first rodeo.
I
don't want to say anything, but I am the person that put that. I'm just kidding.
Your pen is blue?
No, I'd never come up.
Yeah. Let's see. At this moment, people start showing up to the gym. I panic to pull up my shorts and get out, but the child locks are on. So I have to crawl to the front seat and get out, all while people are walking past me to go inside. I left the hot shake in my truck and went inside to be greeted by the owner, who hands me the iPad to get my membership started. After 30 seconds, I politely excuse myself to clean up the train wreck in my pants. Nobody ever suspected what I did that morning in the parking lot. I never spoke of it. Oh yeah, I threw the hot shake in a public trash can on my way home.
This guy's out there. He's roaming around. He could be anybody. And he's listening to this show.
I'm going to tell you something. I think all of them did know, and nobody just said anything.
Yeah, everybody's just cool. They're like, yeah, this dude smells like shit.
He's from one of those like colonies. Like he's like
Yeah, I think CrossFit got it right. I don't know how you do that.
You got to wear like super thick cologne the next 3 weeks to make people forget
that was Gabe's burner account. We figured it out. Totally can relate. So eat clean, I think is the moral of the story there. All right.
I've never had that issue.
Just pre-workout responsibly, folks.
Yeah. Where do we want to go next? We got like 7 minutes, I think, until JR hopefully will be able to join us.
Do we want to get knee deep into WFP stuff?
I think that's going to last longer than 7 minutes. You want to go blind rankings, and then we'll go JR, and then we'll dive into WFP?
Semifinals penalties.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah, semifinals penalties could probably be pretty quick.
Semifinals penalties. I think they're done with them. As far
men
as
was light.
The men were light.
The men were light. Semifinals penalties. Brooke Wells, top 11 out. Olivia Kerstetter, top 11 out. Who else was it?
Kyra Milligan, who got there.
Caroline Stanley was out.
Yeah,
got penalized out. Kyra Milligan got bumped up until they then nuked her score, so she is out. And now we have a top 11.
Guys, Miriam Von Rohr
holding it down,
and that's why I said her name correctly, because she is now a CrossFit Games athlete.
She's earned it.
She's earned me saying Miriam.
Miriam.
Now, the second she sucks, we're going to go back to a hard H.
Miriam.
Here we go.
Ariel Lowen got penalized, and that put Sriracha on number 1.
Sriracha Meha.
You
Sriracha
better
Meha.
put respect on her name. Did you all watch her videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched to make sure, like, did she actually move properly? She moved clean, all of them.
She's legit, man. I mean, I don't know. She doesn't look like a whole lot bigger either. I mean, I know I'm not like the expert in people doing some stuff, but she doesn't look like she's done some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It could just be time, man. Like she just finally hit that precipice. And
I'm not saying she is legit, but she looks legit. And now live competition's far different. It's not like I'm going to put her high up at like my games rankings when we make them, but she looks legit. So I'm not going to speak poorly on her until poorly comes upon her. But dude, I'm excited to see her.
Yeah,
where's she from?
Albania.
That's right. Annika Greer,
Albania.
not 12th place. So that's good.
Yeah, my opinion on Annika has not changed at all. If you run at the games, then what are we? Then is she? What's she gonna be?
I mean, no offense, but if it was at 24 games,
last place,
it would not be good.
She would be underneath Laura, who quit in 3 events.
Yeah, Maddie Sturt, no surprise. Danielle Brandon, were you surprised that no penalties on her clean and jerks?
No. What was wrong with them? Elbows?
Everybody was starting to get angry on the jerk, that it was maybe a full lockout, or it was a little bit.
No, I mean, I think people are being a little bit too anal in that circumstance. I think she's fine.
Going back up, I agree. I did not think that was one that warranted a penalty. I was surprised that Ariel's score was not hit as hard. But with that, we're going to stop talking about all of that.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Finish up with that.
We'll do that later.
Big cliffhanger. What's
more important is Mr. J.R. Howell. Welcome to the show.
What's up? What do we? What did I miss? Who fell off the mountain? Who's?
No, we're actually gonna repeat this CrossFitter cringe story that I think you can relate to, honestly, JR.
Yeah,
is JR pen is blue?
It could be. Have you ever gone to a 5 a.m. class and the pre-workout and your bad habits of eating catch up with you, and you have to take a dump in a McDonald's cup?
Oh, we know it's not JR. It's McDonald's cup. Nope, not JR.
It's not me, by the way, JR. This is a random.
The story has to be about. I was about to say it has to be about John if it's McDonald's.
No, I have the stomach of iron. Okay, nothing happens.
You only eat like 3 things,
and they work beautifully for me.
You don't have a stomach of iron.
Well, we don't know what kind of stomach I had. It's not about me, JR. Okay, let's move on.
First off, JR, your daughter all right?
Yeah, 6 stitches. Good as
not bad.
Yeah, let's be the story.
She split it open pretty good, just right under the chin. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was a lot of blood. That's what freaked her out.
Yeah.
So it kind of sent her into a panic. I'm just glad I was there because I'm like super calm. And if my wife would have been there, it had just been Becca. I mean, when she walked into urgent care, she just immediately started crying. So
yeah, my youngest, I guess he was probably 5 or 6, was skipping around on Halloween night and tripped over one of the little mats we have and hit his eye right above like here, and like it bleeds a lot, and it was Halloween night. So yeah, that was a fun time in the year.
I have that same spot. I stole a ball from a guy in a basketball game and hit the shit out of his head, and his head split open on the top, and my eye split open. Went and laid it up, and everybody was just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And it was just like gushing blood, but I couldn't see it because it wasn't in my eye. And I was like, "Why is everybody stopped?" They were like, "Well, number 1, you fouled the shit out of him, and number 2, your eyes open."
Welcome, boys, on the right. You guys will be there soon enough. You know?
Yeah. Tyler's any minute now.
Yeah, you'll be freaking out about cutting their toenails, you know?
Yeah, that'd be good. All right. Well, the reason we had you jump on.
Dude, actually, you want to talk about cutting toenails. That is. Okay, yeah, we can clip that.
Yeah, you want to talk about buttered sausage.
Dude. Leslie clipped Abby's fingernails. I know I went for toenails, fingernails, and like got her finger a little bit and like started and like blood because it's actually extremely hard to cut their toenails and fingernails.
That's why I said that, and I knew you weren't going to do it. I knew it was going to be good.
And she got blood came up, and then Abby started screaming, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, maybe don't clip her nails until we can. I don't know. Like,
wait till she's 5.
Yeah, wait till her appointment.
And then she went to clip the dog's nails, and they ran away from her hard. Like the dogs were not about it.
Nail clipping day.
Yeah, if you guys hadn't paid attention, it was Wednesday yesterday. Obviously, that's when big news comes out, and that's why, of course, we didn't do the show. But the workouts, the events for Syndicate Crown, they're here. Mr.
Good job,
Howell
John.
Programmed them. So,
dude, I didn't talk. They never even came up, not once. I'm offended at the text messages, honestly. Quite frankly, I was offended at them.
You made it, buddy. We're proud of you.
Yeah, I didn't get any direct messages about leaks that were actually true, so that was nice. And to be honest, I mean, Wilson's known the workouts since December. The testing people have known them since maybe January at the latest. Like all the staff, like the scoring, the judges. So many people have known for so long that it's made me really, really anxious. So it's nice to know that people are trustworthy.
Except me, who, needs to plan the production, but it's a whole different issue.
What's funny is you had sent me the workouts, like that morning or that night or the night before. And so I was getting it ready, but I was curious if Wilson was going to mess up and put them on the website early. And he did not. He had them password protected till the last minute.
Dude, Wilson's like on top of it, man.
Yeah, he told me that specifically on Wednesday morning. He said, "Hey, here's a link to the website that here's the code, and it will not go live until after 12, so that Spin doesn't get them early."
Yeah, no, he thought of you, Spin.
I checked. I found the URL, even though there wasn't a link to it. I found it, and I sent him the screenshot. I said,
Spin was trying.
I said, "Well played."
He was on the phone we were on a call with him when you did that. He was like, "I freaking told you he was going to do this."
Hey, I mean, NorCal, they put stuff out there. Didn't think anybody would check their website, and I did. So, it happens. The events Friday, Heavy Isabel.
Yeah, and let me just interrupt you real quick, Spin. I mean,
he made it 5 words.
Go for it.
Go ahead and go to the first slide. What started out is I built the whole competition off of this workout. The whole thing.
Really?
It kind of needed to be, dude.
In November, I texted Bill and Chase, and I said, right after Rogue, and I said, "Hey, you guys, they did 30 sandbag cleans for time. What do you think about, Rogue has done 30 clean and jerks for time. What do you think about doing 30 snatches like Heavy Isabel, like Rich and Matt did, in a competition?" He's like, "I think it's cool for a strength workout, not for a finale. It's a little bit slow." And I was like, "Cool." And so right then I was like, "I'm going to do this." Obviously, someone who actually did it at Advocare had the same idea. And then from then on, it becomes everyone's done it and everyone's tired of it. And now every time I see this workout or think about this workout, I just get angry. And I cannot tell you how glad I am that it's event 1 and that I don't have to think about it anymore.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay.
I feel for you.
How crazy is that? It sounds like everybody was kind of thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's even Castro and Bosman, I think.
I really think 2 people were thinking
about
it, and then it made everybody want to do it.
Yeah. I wonder too, to my knowledge, Boz and Dave didn't get our workouts early. Mm-hmm. Just hey, let me see what you guys got. If I were them, I would want to know just because I'm a nerd. But I wondered too if, Dave's doesn't know me at all and knows Rich really well. He was like, "What are you guys doing at Mayhem?" And he sent him, and he's like, "Oh, Heavy Isabel's cool. Maybe we'll do that." But who knows?
I think David in one of his weekend reviews said that they were kind of actually toying with the idea ahead of time, and then heard it, and they're like, then they had a discussion about, do we change it, do we keep it, and the decision was let's just go ahead and keep it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the same workout all the way across. From that, I do agree that having it as a finale, was it Wadland Fest that did it as the finale?
Yes.
It was not as exciting as you would hope for a final event.
And honestly too, like, this is a good time to bring up all you people that think we need to have uniform programming. Remind yourselves how sick and tired you get of seeing the same workouts for 4 or 5 straight weeks. And we've only seen this one at almost all of them. I would be surprised if Torian did it. I'd be surprised if Asia did it. I think Rebel will do it because
they just announced it. It was
and then some of those same ones, right, are doing the 30-30-30 workouts. So that's just 2. Like, it's a lot more fun when people do their own thing. And 1 or 2 maybe that are consistent is okay, especially I think if it's a strength workout. It's good to know that, oh man, that guy's really weak overhead. He just got lucky that it was a clean and jerk ladder or a clean ladder and not a snatch ladder, because he wouldn't be going to the game. So in a way, I think that it being the strength workout is a good thing. But I think this goes to show you how tiring it can be to watch the same workout every week.
And I think
especially when some of the same athletes are doing it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because it's not like athletes get to go to multiple things, and they do it. If they did it in the in-affiliate one too, which makes it like, okay, like
Olivia Kerstetter has to do it this weekend at TFX. And we already know she's going to win it. Like,
sure. Yeah. And I mean, we'll get to it with these events, but I don't believe in coincidences that are this broad. But there for a little while, like after Fibonacci, the overhead walking lunge was the thing. People would do it. People did it in elimination style workouts. People just loved the overhead lunge. They loved it. Then it went away. It went away for years. Wadland had a single arm. Mayhem had a single arm. French Throwdown had an axle bar. I have dual kettlebells. In affiliate has dual dumbbells. Come on, guys.
World Fitness Project has the
World
finale.
Fitness Project had doubled. You can't just. I just don't believe that all these programmers just all of a sudden this year was like, you know what? We should bring back the overhead lunge. I think people talk a lot more than they admit, but I kind of wish I was one of those dudes because I don't talk to anybody.
Ooh, this is a good point right here.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually push back that maybe Torian will do a classic like
max out
or like a lift.
Yeah. So I mean, who doesn't want to watch Guy, and even guys like Jake Douglas, like super strong too. I mean, I'm sure he's in the field, right?
Yeah.
All the pyrotechnics and everything too. I mean, that's an electric atmosphere. Everyone wants to watch people lift heavy.
Good point.
I just want some spotlights. I think when like the other news that came out this week about the last chance qualifier, I think a lot of people said, why didn't you just give 12th place to the last chance qualifier? I think it goes to your point of it's the same programming, right? Like my concern when Heavy Isabel was going to be programmed every time is like somebody like Emily Rolfe is going to struggle to get in because of that one strength workout. Right. And I get that the semifinals have used to be, last year was the same programming all across the board. But when you go to this sanctional type structure and athletes are to have some type of options available, like you would expect them to be able to have, maybe I like a different type of programmer or, over the years, you can go somewhere else. The last chance qualifier gives these athletes a different path, different workouts, still testing them in a different way, but they're not limited by 30 heavy snatches.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the workouts for last chance qualifier is going to be Heavy Isabel.
I sure hope not.
I disagree.
I'm kidding. I didn't think you guys would take me seriously, but you did. So let's just move on.
All right, Heavy Isabel. I don't think there's too much to talk about. Good news is it's the first one, like JR said. So we'll move on. Friday afternoon, Regionals Revenge. The 100/80 calorie echo bike, 100 toes to bar, 100 bar facing burpees, 100 front squats at 115/85 pounds. A long workout.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a long old school workout, right? So
Yes.
I mean, we can go way, way back. Guys, the first 100 shipper is Angie. That's the first 100 shipper, right?
Yeah.
100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. And then regionals one year, I think, did one that was like 100 overhead squats, 100 pull-ups, 100 double unders, which back in the day, you know, that would have taken, I think 2011, that probably took some people 5-6 months through. So it's crazy how far we've come. But then the most recent one, you know, is the one that you remember Khalipa doing like the final week and trying to break the time trying to beat Rich's time, I believe. But 100 wall ball, 100 chest to bar, 100 pistols, 100 dumbbell snatch with the 70. Back when no one knew how to touch and go anything, and everyone was doing singles alternating, and it was just disgusting. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a theme throughout, but my primary goal obviously is to get the right two people at the games. After that, I think everything else needs to be a far second. But I do really like to call back some things that maybe people don't do anymore in their training, like stuff like this. We're like, hey, this is all I'm doing today. I'm doing this 20-minute workout that is not just going to be sitting on 3 ergs, or is not going to be a bunch of running, and it's just going to be classic CrossFit. And I'm going to have to deal with these really big sets and try to strategize how to get through them. And then also, like, this is an opportunity for coaches to really flex and show that, hey, we've tried it a couple different ways. This is the best way. We're going to be last off the bike. Or, hey, the calories actually let us get 30 to 45 seconds ahead, and we're going to need that on the burpees. So that's what we're going to do. Or, hey, all these people are going to be getting to the burpees tired. My plan is to do the first 75 squats unbroken. Like, whatever. There's just so many different ways you can go about racing this. And I think that a long mixed modality workout like this isn't done a whole lot anymore. And I've had a couple people text me that have already qualified that are like, I need to do this in my training. Like, I just need to do it and figure it out. Like, if I'm put in that situation at the games and, you know, there's 100 of something, like, how am I going to get through that? So,
and I think that people might not catch on is the last movement is almost the only movement that you can really race. Like, obviously people are going to have like faster paces than others, but everybody's going to have their pace that they're holding on the echo bike. Nobody's like sending 100 cows on the echo bike. Everybody's going to break their toes to bar up in sets. And then the bar facing burpees are just going to be like a steady pace through the whole thing. They probably advance it at some point. And then the front squats will be where you can make a choice. You have a game plan, but that's where workout gaming, like being good on game day, happens. You see he's 10 reps ahead of me, I'm going to go unbroken through 50. To break this man, right, or girl.
It's your point. It's your point, John. Like, it's a lot easier to jump back up onto the pull-up bar for a set of 5 than it is to pick up that bar again after you've dropped it. It's just a lot different in that time of the workout. Every time you put that bar down, the clock starts and it just melts away. To your point about the echo bike, though, because it's calories specifically, that's a whole nother conversation that I'm just very firm on. But there are people that 70% is a 12 calorie lead compared to someone else.
For sure.
So they're not going for it. They're just like, hey, this is my comfortable pace and it's just faster than yours. However, toes to bar, burpee, front squat, the big long athlete, like, that's all they get, right, in this work. They get that first movement, and then after that, the deck's a little bit stacked against you after a workout that should have been, you know, pretty good for you to start the competition. for this workout, I just want to talk about testing because to me, that's the most important part of this. I mean, 4 people came and did an entire simulation weekend with 2 hours rest in between in a closed gym. It was extremely, like, the floor was marked out the way it's going to be. And then I had some remote testers, and the remote testing athlete that did this workout, their splits were 522, 525, 541, and 507. So that's
it's
about
going to be tight.
So that's about 21 minutes. That athlete is Colton Mertens. So if you think Colton, so you think Colton's doing the burpees in 541, you think people aren't going to be just going through mud? Like, listen to those splits. Those are really, really consistent splits.
They're pretty splits.
And obviously closing on the squats for Colton is not going to be what most people can do. So yeah, he did it. He did a workout that day or maybe 2 and then hit this for me. And he wasn't in peak shape when he did it, but I knew, hey, he's in the West. He could win this workout. I need to know if the cap is appropriate, and I need to know if someone can go sub 20 on me.
That's like 45% slower than when he did it against Berman, the 100 bar facing burpees. He was like 333.
Oh, you're pacing. No, I think it was 319.
Was it 3? Yeah. So, I mean, that's over 50% slower.
Yeah, and I talked to him about it. I was like, "Hey, are you cool if I tell people that you tested a couple of these and what your times were?" He's fine with it. So I just think it's good to talk about him specifically because a lot of people are going to be wondering what's possible. And I told him to do transitions and roll the bar every 25 burpees, roll the bar every 25 front squat. Like, he did all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, this workout originally was back squat, and that would have been hey, do people want to hold on? It kind of came down to when they drop it, though, how do they do it? Do we let them bail? Do they bring it in front? And it was just a little bit clunky. Yep. So we toyed around with some other movements. The yoke was originally front rack carry. And then I was like, hey, well, let's just switch the 2. Let's get them in the back rack once and get them in the front rack. There's a lot of legs. There's a lot of midline here. There's a lot of shoulders going from the burpee to holding that front squat. I mean, the testing athletes said it was as much shoulders as it was legs. So Angelo got capped. Taylor did front rack step ups because he couldn't squat and still finished. And Lindsay got capped and Molly McGrandy finished. So 2 got capped, 2 finished. So that let me know that 25 is not a gimme, and that people will get capped, but I do want a lot of people to feel all 400 of these reps.
Yeah, they're getting capped at like 80 front squats. They're not getting capped like without even getting to the front squat.
And they're going to be fighting for those squats. So whatever they get, they're going to feel the rest of the week, for sure. Yeah.
The one thing I thought about when I saw this workout was the pill squat workout from Crucible, and I wondered how many coaches were good enough to go through, analyze your programming over the past couple of years, see that one and be like, he's probably going to try something like this.
Well, the year before in the retour, there was 100 shipper. It was 100 trapeze toes to bar, 100 hang kettlebell snatch, 100 box jump over, 100 kettlebell squat. And I was a little bit annoyed that Colton did that in like 14 or 15 minutes. So I needed some redemption with one that was a little harder. Actually, Angelo was hoping I would use the pill for this workout for the squats and just kind of bring that back. But Rogue was extremely generous, and they don't carry those. So I was like, barbell's fine, So
yeah, this one's gonna be one of my favorite ones to watch.
Yes.
Typically the 25-minute workouts are not, it's a little rough to watch, but I mean, I think this one,
I think you're going to see
them fighting.
Because you're going to see all the big guys in front, and then you're going to see, and they probably can hold on to it through the toes to bar, but then you're going to see this like pretty shift with all the little flying burpee guys from the big guys. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last thing about this, I know we need to move on. Like, bar facing burpee standard is going to be get over the bar anyhow. So as much as it's cringe for me to watch people step over the bar and just turn around and get down, hey, if I'm not interested in the subjectivity of a 1-2 takeoff or whatever on this and a hop versus a step. So, hey, if you want to be more athletic looking and you want to go faster, then jump over. But If you don't, just step over and you can go a little slower. Like that's fine too. What we are bringing back though is the 17.1 line that bisects the object. So everyone will be doing true perpendicular bar facing burpee and not that pseudo 45-degree angle. So it'll be one hand and 1 foot on either side of the tape line.
Tyler, I think me and you sometime during the weekend, after they do this, we should partner workout and see if we can beat the winning time.
Yes, with all the time we have, we will definitely do that.
Dude, well, we could do it in the morning. It'd be fine.
Hey, you never know. The WPTH volunteer workout might just be the 100 part.
Dude, we can let's be partners and do it. I forgot we got to do that.
We do a lot of stuff. I think it would be fun if we can do it. We should see if we can beat the winning time.
You got to get ready for Isabel though, John.
Yeah, you know what? We're just going to see what happens. I hurt myself last grid practice, so like I haven't been able to touch a barbell in 5 days. So I'm hoping that I'm okay I gotta be okay for Saturday, so next Saturday. And then Isabel's after that. So I'm just trying not to hurt myself. And then, whatever happens, happens. I might get out there and just try to touch and go 12 in a row and then be like, I blew up myself on purpose. Right. So
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Good.
Saturday, workout number 3. Yoke repeater, 8 rounds, 400-meter run, 40-foot yoke carry at 425, 305.
Yeah, all of these workouts are my favorite workout. Every single one of them.
So this, obviously the name here, right, should bring back some bike repeater, which was essentially just a lot of hard biking with a interruption of one legless rope climb every round. So this is that, right? This could definitely just be called the run interrupter, right? And if it same way as the yoke repeater. What's cool about this workout for me is that I think it's the most misunderstood workout of the whole weekend. I think a lot of people look at it and they will look at it and just say, oh, okay, so the yoke doesn't matter. It does matter, and it matters a lot. And the best way I can describe it to you is just to speak to the testing. Like on paper, in my opinion, Taylor is a better runner than Angelo. Angelo is a good runner, but Taylor's a very, very good runner. Because of, and they were like side by side the whole workout, like within 2 or 3 seconds, the whole workout. The original version was 10 rounds of 340. But because of the venue landscape and having to run a lot inside, we decided to just lengthen the run a little bit so people could pass each other a little easier. The hesitation late, maybe not even hesitation, just the speed at which Angelo could get the yoke on him and walk with urgency. And it's, guys, basically like you're running with the yoke. Like you're not walking slowly. You are trying to get it on and off of you as fast as you possibly can. You're still moving that thing over 100 yards with 400 and 300 pounds on your back. It does do something to your run that is hard to describe until you feel it. And Angelo ended up winning that workout barely. But on paper, if it was just a 2-mile run, I would not bet against Taylor. So just the opportunity every time to maybe lose a second because you walk a little bit faster. I mean, it's really 10 seconds every yoke. So you're only looking at 80 seconds of a 15-minute workout. But yeah, the yoke does matter. It is heavy enough to matter. If it was lighter, like Midline Madness is a lot like this workout, the berm run, empty yoke, that was really, really light. It was about the berm, right? I think this is heavy enough to affect the run. Lindsay and Molly. Lindsay's a far better runner, just plain run. Molly kept it really close because I think the yoke just didn't affect her as much as it affected Lindsay. Going to it and leaving it. So time cap wise, a lot of people will look at this and say, oh, wow, there's 2 long workouts. You never really see 2 long workouts. To me, that 15 to 17 minute time domain just doesn't get hit a lot unless it counts as the long test. And for me, I think that's a really important time domain. And it's not a 20-minute plus time domain. I just think hard running, proving you can run before you get to the games is maybe the most important thing you need to show. So yeah, this will do that, but also gets people an opportunity to use an implement in a workout and not an accessory session that they probably don't use in a high intensity workout like this.
Yeah, I mean, you think about 8 rounds. I mean, you have to be running fast to get the time cap. Like
Yeah.
If you're doing 8-minute miles,
You're pushing it.
You're barely going to finish, and probably don't.
Dude, if you're doing 8-minute miles, you're not here.
There you go. I was going to say, like,
well, we don't know that though. Like they got in through the open.
Kale's not doing it, dude.
Like to me, a 2-minute round with it, like I said, with a 10-second yoke, and let's just say there's a few seconds, right? You pause or you have to run back out of your lane. So every other round you're running a little bit farther. All that into consideration to me is like, hey, this is a 2-minute round workout unless you're just not a good runner. So I think the fastest times though will probably be 14:15.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the run will be ish, and we will make sure we let everyone know before hey, the run is actually 4:10 or the run is actually 3:72 or whatever. You know, we'll let everybody know.
We'll film the walk. We'll show you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This was not exactly 400 meters. I got my wheel out and everything.
3 times.
Said
John, we're going to
404.
do that. Morning of, we're doing that.
That'd be good.
It's kind of a boring workout, but in a way, it's like my favorite one because I think it's the most easily overlooked. And this workout hurts, man. And 100 toes to bar, yoke carry. We're still going to get on the GHD. Like the midline just gets hit a lot all weekend long.
Yeah, I like this one. I mean, I'm sure probably 99% of the athletes that are going to be there have done a yoke carry in training. I'm not sure all of them have done it in a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of them have done it with a monostructural element. I think they usually do
Every
it.
time go ahead.
Carry the yoke,
Toes to bar.
run back, carry the heavy sandbag, run back, carry the heavy farmer candles. And it's like a strongman medley type situation. Or it's carry the yoke, do some GHD, do some yoke, do a rope climb. Like the one WFP did is like a very like classic combination of just same structure, right? Just some interference in between the rope climbs, but a little bit more classic strongman gymnastics mix. I just think this one is not one that people are going to see and have done anything like it before. So you just kind of like, you get what you get on this workout. Like you got 2 weeks, but you ain't just going to get good at this workout in 2 weeks.
Well, speaking of that, I don't think Mayhem put out, like they put out the workouts, but they didn't put down the breakdown of workouts or like in testing what they did. Is this the first time we've ever gotten like an analysis of what is possible with Colton, Taylor, Angelo before
Mayhem
the event?
They tested their
but
stuff.
public
They
But they didn't make it public.
Right.
I think that like Dave writing his book in 2018, I think he said he's working on another one. Like that kind of stuff's fascinating to me because what I always want to know is, okay, this is what the athletes did on game day. Who tested it? How did they come up with rep schemes, changing it, time caps, all that? Like for instance, like for Boz, like I want to know who tested the dual dumbbell overhead lunge GHD. Like I just want to know because I think it's cool to know. Like was it like Hobart moves amazingly? Did he test it? Like did Boz do it himself with 50s? Did he do it himself with 70s? Like I just think stuff like that, even after the fact, would be awesome to like for the programmers to say, hey, this is what I had at first. This is how I changed it. I mean, yeah, there's probably only 100 people in the world that care, but I just think it would be cool because being able to speak to all the decisions you make would make me probably be more or less critical of it. I could be like, oh, okay, so this is why they did it. Okay, cool.
Well, the story of the Fibonacci finale. I mean, he was like, we had Julian Alcaraz test it. I didn't know he was literally a god at deficit handstand push-ups, and he did the workout. He finished the workout under 6 minutes, and turns out, he's one of the best in the world of this freaking movement, and the fittest in the world can't do it like that. And I didn't know that. Now I do. Like that's those stories are cool. I agree.
What do you think releasing? Talking about the athletes who tested it, their scores, what do you think that does to the athletes who are listening and looking for tips right now? Like, how do they proceed over the next 2 weeks?
I hope it gives them some really good data because I think at this point it's a level playing field. And like, if people want to reach out to Taylor and be like, hey, dude, I tested Metal March and like, I don't know, I was a little bit conservative at first. I didn't finish it. Like Taylor's probably going to be like, hey, dude, you can't be conservative on this workout. The muscle fatigue is coming and it's 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off. if you can squeak out another 10 feet on round 1, you do it. If you can climb the rope a little bit faster on round 2, you do it, because eventually it's going to hit you. And you just, when you want to go faster, you're not going to be able to go faster. So I hope that if I were anyone, I would be reaching out to those people and asking questions about it. But,
I'm sure Colton will appreciate all the DMs.
Speaking of Metal March, we have our intervals. It does not feature jump ropes to cap it off. 2-2-3 intervals, 1 minute between. 50/40 Rogue Pro double unders, 4/3 cut rope climbs, and then max distance in the remaining time. Dual kettlebell overhead walking lunges until you complete 240 feet, which is 6 times down the 40-foot path. This looks gross.
Yes, some work rest I think is really necessary. Gosh, I remember when the original intervals came out, just how creative and how cool I thought it was, and watching some epic blow ups, and watching Matt when Dave was like, it's not possible to do in 3, and he's like giving him that look like, I'm gonna die trying, like that kind of stuff. Just those are the memories that I have. And advancing down the floor and telling the story, and just like this idea of a buy-in workout that a lot of people just did in training, and they didn't really think to do it in competition, and it ends up being one of the coolest formats. So 2017 had the cut rope at regionals and a chipper. It was also heavy wall balls. As I remember the year before, they went to the ranch and they did heavy wall ball at the ranch. And back in the day, we saw that clear trickle down year to year, and it was so cool. It was like, hey, we do 200-pound kettlebell deadlifts. The next year, you got 150-pound kettlebell deadlifts. Like, it's like you saw that, hey, if we're doing it at the games, you need to be ready to do it at regionals. If we're doing it at regionals, you need to be ready to do it in the open or whatever. So, bringing back the cut rope, the Rogue Pro double under, unless you've been to Rogue or you competed at Wadapalooza a few years ago and did that flip sled workout, you probably have had no competition where they use that jump rope. So there's a lot, there's the drag rope, and, Belites has that cable that, they're sponsoring a lot of workouts, a lot of them, but this one is different, right? Having the handles that are weighted, and releasing it early enough so that the outliers that are 6'4" or 4'10" can go on Rogue and buy their own and size it and just bring it to us at the competition and be like, here's my rope, and we'll inspect it and be like, you're good to go. Like, it's really important for me and Wilson, the athlete experience, in a way of like, hey, if we're going to use something that not a lot of people have, let's provide it for them, and let's tell them the sizes that they're going to get access to, and then they can make their own decision. If they need something different, they can bring it with them. So I'm really excited about this. I don't know if anyone can do it in 3 intervals. Taylor was really, really close, and I think honestly he would probably win this workout in whatever field is there, because he's so good at the cut rope. There's a lot of athleticism there, and if you don't practice that, it's hard to be really, really efficient, especially when you're blown up. And then if you have good grip endurance, and if you're a good upper body puller, do you have good overhead position? Because if you have the grip and the pulling, but your overhead position is not good, it's really hard to do well.
Tyler.
So I'm going to do really well at this one. I've got a good chance here.
It's just like,
you want to go back? You want to go head to head in this one, Tyler?
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can get through the first buy-in. I'll be honest with you.
You can.
Did Taylor do the Katrin clamp between the thighs? Is that how we?
No, it's but actually I went and watched that and Brent do it the following weekend, and Brent's one of the best in the world at legless, but he's like, hey, I'm tall enough to where I can do no legless. And I texted him about it. He said, yep, easiest event win of my career right there. Because he was tall, it was heavy wall ball, it was overhead walking lunge, it was double under, like it was just wheelhouse, and he got through those rope climbs and his arms weren't blown up. So anyone who hasn't done a cut rope climb before, it's very different. If you think about how a rope touches the ground, hopefully not too much at your gym, it's kind of anchoring the rope. So when you go to clamp it, it's got that weight. But when you are missing 5 feet of the rope off the ground and you go to clamp, it just kind of swings around everywhere, and you can blow up your biceps just trying to find your footing. So
it's a shorty rope for people who don't.
It's what, 5 feet off the ground?
Yeah.
5 feet. Yep.
Generally, you'll see athletes do 1 or 2 legless pulls into a regular
It's
pull with their feet.
extremely hard to leg lock at the bottom of the rope. And I don't know why it is, but it is. Like you have to have some clearance before you can lock.
Nothing down there. Yeah, it's just really, it's almost weightless. In testing, when we tested this, the girls did a version with regular rope climbs. We didn't know if Rogue was going to approve the cut rope. So the guys used a cut rope and the girls did regular legless to a true 15 feet. The regionals rig is about 14 feet. They both did 50 double unders and the girls were way behind the guys. So, I mean, I hope Bryson's got some behind the scenes footage of this, but like all of us were just talking right after or going to the whiteboard, talking about different options. If we get the cut ropes, if we don't, decreasing the double unders helped a ton. Lindsay retested this workout this week and finished it, and making that adjustment. You wouldn't think it's much, but that 200 to 160 total and that 16 rope climb to 12 rope climb total is massive for the women. And so while I think the women will still struggle to finish more than the men, I think making that adjustment of both the rope climbs and the double unders are really going to help the workout feel the same for both sexes, which I think is really important in any competition.
Yeah, this one's gonna be good. Let's see. Next one on Sunday, athletes only. 30, 24, 18, 12, 6 of GHD sit-ups with a 30-foot handstand walk to 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 box jump overs, and then back another 30 feet handstand walk obstacle, 42 and 36-inch box. So I imagine you're doing the 30 GHD sit-ups, handstand walk, 10 box jump overs, handstand walk back to the GHD.
Correct. Yeah. So the handstand walk is there for your transition. And I mean, obviously, if you saw the video that we posted that Hiller actually made with some clips from that 2018 year and some guys like Matt and Brooke and Katrin like doing that obstacle, that workout was also a triple G workout like this one. So it was ring muscle up, handstand obstacle, and pistol. And outside of the sanctional year, Wadapalooza, I think they did it with a power snatch ladder. We haven't seen this stage of competition use the obstacle since 2018, although it's at the games almost every year. So I was really, really grateful that we were able to use it. I have a lot of setups that I'm bringing, and then we were able to borrow a couple more. So we'll have a couple in the warm-up area, 10 on the floor. And I just think it's one of those things that if you're not able to do, if you've been to Crucible before, you've done it 3 or 4 years. But if you're not able to do this, it's I mean, it could end some weekends. And this is something I think you should be able to do in this volume, 300 feet, with some interference here on the hip flexors and midline. No shoulder interference though. Just think this is something you need to be able to do before you get to the games.
And they got plenty of time to practice if they can't. Like, this is the time to every day, every other day, you figure out how to do this ramp.
Well, remember too that reel went out a couple weeks ago. So like they've had like a month for this.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a minimum work requirement for this workout?
No, the only workout that there's a minimum work requirement for is Metal March, and that is the complete buy-in. So you have to do the double unders and the rope climbs, or else your workout is over. Workout is over, not your competition.
Yeah, you just can't go to the second interval.
Sure. So yeah, high box is going to be very overlooked, but other than at the CrossFit Games, I think Wadapalooza did 36-inch last year for the team competition. They did 36 and 30, but 42 and 36, I mean, there's a reason why it's called athletes only, right? That is more of the handstand walk movement. But yeah, I mean, the 30 box jump overs for people who have never jumped on a box higher than 30 inches is going to be different. It's going to be different. I have some video footage of some games level athletes doing it, and it's really funny.
Do they finish the box jump overs and then skip the last transition?
They do not. No.
So you get the full, all 10 of them.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to handstand walk back, and the finish mat will actually be where the GHD is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's a cool workout. It's a really cool flow. This is one that like people are going to get lapped. And you're going to look on the floor and you're going to be like, oh, they're on round 4 and that person's still on round 2. And what's good to me about this workout in a descending rep scheme is early on, everyone gets to play. So early on, you've got the big chunks of GHD and the big chunks of box. So a little bit more time in between the handstand walk traverses. But late in the workout, round 4, you're getting on for 12 GHD. There's the obstacle. You're jumping 4 times. There's the obstacle again. You're getting on for 6. You're getting on for 2. Those last 4 handstand walk passes are so close together that like it lets the people who are really good at it show it at the end. And the people who can't do it at all are just kind of like, hey, well, you got to play for the first 3 rounds. Interesting in testing. I knew all 4 of them would destroy this workout. I didn't think all 4 of them would go unbroken on everything. So no one failed a handstand walk. Everyone went smooth and fast. They actually were racing. Angelo went like 8:30. Taylor was around 9 minutes. Molly and Lindsay were sub 10. So like this 13-minute cap for some is going to be very generous. For others is going to be very aggressive. And that's what we need on Sunday. Like we need some crazy swings. And while I think most of the events have swings built in every single workout because something specific is being tested, that I think this one and then the last one with the heavy sandbag is really gonna help some people or hurt some people's chances at a games bid for sure.
Yeah. Moving on to the final workout, bag 9, 9 sandbag cleans, 12 ring muscle ups, 15-12, 21-18 cal echo rower, 15-12 bar muscle ups, 9 sandbag cleans at 200/150.
This is my favorite workout.
I bet.
We could dig into all the movement selection and the movement patterns and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like you need 2 workouts, I think, that are limited by just capacity. And you have that with the yoke and with the hundreds. You need a couple workouts that are limited by something body weight. You have that with the cut rope and with the handstand walk. And then you need a couple workouts that are limited by the weightlifting component. That doesn't mean that it has to be super heavy or not, but that needs to be the thing that separates. And while 30 and 24 muscle ups probably will cause some separation, this workout is about the bag. And for a lot of people, they're really good technically with the barbell, but when you have to just move something weird over and over again, it just destroys you. So this is the most compelling like discrepancy of testing data. Taylor did this workout. He went touch and go on the first 9, unbroken on muscle ups, rode like a 1200, which I'll get to, which is really important. Does 6 touch and go with a 10-foot transition after each 3. So 3 carry, 3 touch and go carry. Does 3 singles at the end of the workout. Goes low 4s. Okay. Angelo does it, doing the same thing, executing it the same way, essentially just having to do singles on the bag, and goes 2 minutes slower. Wow. So 2 minutes slower. So like 4.5 and 6.5, let's call it that, whatever. Molly and Lindsay do it. They're a little bit closer together, but we made some adjustments to the bar muscle ups. Originally, they did 15s, and the back half was just really hard. And I was like, okay, we need to adjust that. Like some workouts, they can do the same, but this one, they probably need to do 12. Alex Gazan tested it for me. Didn't know she was testing a workout like for that. She thought it was for Crucible. She did the first 9 touch and go, did the muscle ups unbroken, rode the same pace as Taylor, 1200 for her 18. Did singles on the bag and barely beat Taylor. Colton was right around Taylor's time, doing similar, like touch and go at first and then having to do singles in it. So Taylor by far handled the bag better than anyone. But other than the yoke, I think the most misunderstood part of this workout is the row, and I'll explain. The row only matters for the best. And in that description I just gave you, if you can do the bag really, really well and you're really good at muscle ups, how hard can you row and still jump up and do that back half unbroken? That's that will come into play for a lot of people who are similar on the bag. So because Alex got off 15, 20 seconds on the rower, she was able to essentially wipe that away on the back half sandbag, having to do singles. And I think that's a really, really interesting part of the workout, is that there's some gamesmanship, even though it's a fast workout. Like 9 minutes for some is they're going to be hoping that the cap hits just because they're falling apart with the bag. But in a workout that's so short, I think there's a lot of strategy. But at the end of the day, you either have the option to go touch and go or you don't. And that already is going to put you in a deficit, because if the person next to you is going touch and go, the amount of time that you are passing them on, it's really hard to make up on the other two movements, unless someone just gets on the row and they're like, hey, I'm just going to recover on the row and I'm going to be on it for 90 seconds and then I'm going to rest a lot before the muscle ups. Like, do those people really matter anyway? Probably not. Like, this workout, this finale is written for the people who are going to go or not go. And then it's like, I don't know what she can do on the bag, or I don't know what he can do on the bag. I'm going to take a break on the rings. Oh, well, she is too. Okay. Well, then who can get the 9 reps done? Like, it's called bag 9 because it's all going to come down to the last.
You know who I would have loved to see do this workout, and if we could possibly reach out to him. I don't know if he is reach outable, but is Bronislaw Linkowitz, because that is a guy that would touch and go the 9 and then go 6-5-4 on the rings, go 1200 on the row, and then 9 and 6 on the bar muscle ups. But then he would touch and go the entire 9 on the second half and end up beating everybody. And I mean, and Taylor might be too fit. No. I'm not talking about the fittest in the world.
Yeah.
This field.
I think Taylor's time and Colton's time on this, because they are able to touch and go in the bag, and even Alex too, because there's not a lot of females that are going to touch and go.
No.
Period. And much less like at the end, like, I watched Taylor do it. I talked to Alex after she did it. It's like, dude, that really hurts. Like lactic. Like, if you can go that fast, I mean, the arms just get no reprieve. You're wrestling the bag, you're pulling, you're hanging, you're pulling on the rower again. But she's like, at the end, it's just like, it's like meltdown, right? Like everything's shutting off on those last few sandbag cleans, because you're going so fast and it's such a powerful workout that it hurts. If you can make it hurt, it really hurts. And some people just can't make it hurt. So,
and there's gonna be a game spot on the line,
right?
For somebody.
I mean, the teams are doing synchronized ring and bar muscle up, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think Wadapalooza did it first, and then Adrian programmed it with the thrusters that year in Orlando. And this workout was bar all along. And I just got really frustrated that I thought we were going to be the only people not doing ring muscle ups, and it turns out everyone's doing bar muscle ups this year, not ring. We were like, Wilson had mentioned it early on, like, we could do both. And I was like, I don't know. That seems it's just not like me to do it. And I ended up coming back to him and being like, let's do it. And what's important is where the rings are. Like, at the beginning, it still gives the opportunity for people to go unbroken if they're really good on the rings. And then on the back half, they're doing the easier bar muscle up, which kind of still pushes intensity. And I think that's really important, because while this isn't a 2 to 3 minute sprint, it is still a power output fast workout. Like, again, the winning times are going to be sub 5, and they're going to be people that probably get capped. So in a 9 minute workout, having people beat you by 3 or 4 minutes, I think is pretty cool.
And that, hearing you talk, like if I'm going to Syndicate, I'm watching this, right? I'm listening to what you're saying and hearing that to be fast, you have to go unbroken.
On the bag in the first 9 for sure.
I think Angelo's time, like, I think his time of around like 6 minutes is a good time, because he wasn't messing around. He was doing singles on the bag, but he wasn't just standing there with hands on knees. He's awesome at muscle ups, which is still important, right? Like, how long is your break after the row? Are you breaking 15 seconds? Or are you like stepping right to the bar and jumping up? So I think that Taylor and Alex and like Colton's times are like, hey, if I need to win this workout, like
They got to beat them.
I need to go faster than Imam. Look at the workout. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. Like, and that's really impressive when you think about it, that they were like sub 430. But again, yeah, like if you can even get like the first 3 touch and go and then go to singles, like you make up so much time, because the 200 and the 150 is not like the 150, 100, right? It's just, it takes so much more out of you every rep. But Taylor's been cycling sandbags like since I met him. Like he was sending me videos doing 200-pound box step ups like 4 or 5 years ago. Like I just think that some people are just really, really good at odd objects, and it's just a completely different story than a barbell. So.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like if you're third place or say fourth and it's close, like you're hearing this, like I have to try it, right? Like you can't do Angelo and think that 6 minutes is gonna get it for you. Like you've got to take that risk of doing it. And what is that? Does that blow up in those last 9?
But you got time to do it. You got time to play with it. And
2
then
weeks.
I think it's going to be this. It's funny because it feels like maybe other than the hundreds, but the last workout is almost the most strategery in it, and who executes their game plan the best. I just think we'll see a lot of different approaches.
Yeah, I think that Metal March and Athletes Only are very execution oriented in like can't fly too close to the sun. Like if I'm not careful, right, and I fail a rope climb, I'm done. Like I'll end up taking a 30th. Or if I go a little too soon on a handstand walk and it gets in my head, all right, I've already missed one, and then it just becomes like a snowball effect. I think John is right in that there is a ton of fitness here. There's just levels of fitness, kind of like the hundreds. Whereas a couple of the other workouts are either you got it or you don't.
Yeah, and I do like the strength pieces, the first workout and the last one.
Right.
So if you think about the leaderboard shifting, I could see, you see the Gees, and the Olivia Kerstetters up top early on, dip down a little bit, and they come back strong on the final one, and that's their chance to come back and make it.
Dude, I think of more of like you see it's I don't think so, guys. If like a lactic acid type feeling at the end of it, if that's truly what it brings, dude, he ain't about that life. I think more like a
I don't think those guys are
stronger like comeback whenever he touched and go the sandbags at regionals and made and got his ticket. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like somebody who you don't even see coming, and they were the only one able to do it, or they did it the best, and then they jumped 5 spots and got that.
I wonder, and I don't even know if you'd want to put it out there. I mean, I think it would crush. You'd put it on his own YouTube. But if Bryson has Taylor doing this workout, like that video of Colton doing Friendly Fran was just awesome to watch. Like leading up to this workout, like if he's got that footage and he puts it out, I mean, that's cool. Like that'd
be
cool.
Crazy.
Even to put out like the first 9 sandbag clean, just so people can watch that movement and try to dissect it, because there's a technique to it, right? Like he's able to do it because of timing, and you mishandle that 200 and it just pushes you over. So
well, I like also that you give them the option to be able to do touch and go. It feels like so often now you're not allowed.
You have to drop. Yeah.
That was something too that it was interesting. Like I like going over the shoulder, especially if people don't bail to the side and like kind of throw it off their bicep and their hips aren't open at the top. Like people who do it right, I think it looks really good. And I think sometimes for singles, that annoying not being able to go touch and go can be a good thing based on the workout. But in this workout specifically, they need to have that option of, hey, if it was mandated singles, it really would like, hey, the muscle ups are really important. Well, we already have 2 workouts that the gymnastics are really, really important. And then the hundreds, the burpees and toes bar are still really important. So to me, you don't let them go touch and go, and it kind of starts to swing the bias of the whole program. So that might be a little too deep, but I think that allowing them to go touch and go, the workout is supposed to be limited by the weightlifting component, I think this is the right move.
Yeah.
What I like about all this is that you've essentially written all my prop bets for me, so I appreciate that with giving us the athlete times. Thank you.
Well, and how many athletes go touch and go all 9 of the first ones?
Right.
Or does
How many
the first guy
athletes
off
go
does
last?
the fastest time off the bike win a heat or lose every heat?
Dude,
Something
I think with bag 9 you could have like so many prop bets. How many people go unbroken on both set of muscle ups? Like not many are doing that. But the ones who are the ones that need to win it, like if Luke's in that position, he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we've seen him on finales just completely go after it, especially when there's muscle ups involved. Like he did it last year at semis where he crushed the bike and then jumped up on the rings. We saw it at the classic. Like he's someone I think of where I'm like, if that dude can touch and go the 200, like that's a guy that is going to be in it till the very end.
Yeah.
Or even like winning time sub 4 minutes, 4 to 420, 420 to 440, 440 to 5. That's your total.
Honestly, at the end of the competition weekend with the game day transitions, I think sub 430 is a really good prop bet for both males and females.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to predict which workout's most correlated to the finals,
Spin's favorite thing.
Yeah,
I want it to be the 100s, but I think it's the finale.
I think so too, because you're just going to see people fall apart in it. Like you're going to see people go for it and then they can't do it. And then you'll see people go for it and they can do it. And that eventually will end up who lies where.
Yeah. Well, all 3 of the movements matter. Even the row in the middle matters for the best, because it's like, I need to beat him back to the bag. And I know he's going unbroken on the bar muscle up. So the only way I can get to the bag faster than him is if I choose to row a little bit harder. So while all 3 movements matter, it comes down to the bag. And for the ones that all 3 movements matter, it's a fitness test. It's not just a one thing type test.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want it to, I would love it to be the 100s, because I just think that's like really classic CrossFit, but I'm probably just a little bit biased to the longer time domain. So
the question I have about all this is like, so you've been doing CrossFit a long time, you've been programming a long time, you've run your own events. I guess what's the emotion feel like to now be programming for a qualifying spot, 2 qualifying spots for the games?
No, I mean it really is a dream come true. Like like for years probably have just been like, man, I just want that chance. I just want that opportunity. Like I'm a nobody. I don't really know how to go about that. And most times Dave is programming everything, or, occasionally some people get to do their own thing, like the sanctionals here, it's like, wow, they all get to kind of put their own spin on everything. But I also believe that it's a really, really like serious responsibility. And I think that if you're entering into it with any of like your own personal motives, or if you're doing it just because you're doing what you like, or you're not thinking about, hey, my job here is to get the right 2 people to the CrossFit Games, and that's it. So unless you're approaching it like that, I take it very serious. I mean, for 6 months, all I've thought about is this, right? Like I think about other workouts too, but I'm a simple person, right? I have my faith, I have my family. I love to train, I love to coach people, and I love to write workouts. And that's really it. Like, so I do this all the time. This is what I love to do. So I know I get passionate and ramble about it, but seeing this come together, has Wilson trusting me with that job to do it. I mean, yeah, might only get one chance, so I gotta go out swinging, right?
Make it work.
Yeah.
The funny thing leading up to when we found out about the workouts, we had like this meeting scheduled for Syndicate.
Are we supposed to say this?
Yeah, I mean, we're working the event, it's fine, but it's more about the lead in. So like JR's, even through text message, like very stoic. And I think you text me 3 times, like, are you stoked for tonight? Like, you ready? You ready to find out about these workouts? And I was like, a lot of people wouldn't catch like how excited you were in that moment. And I knew it was a big deal.
I've I've been like, it's been tough to just not like, I want everyone to see them because, you're proud of it, but then also too, you're ready for people to like or not like them, and liking or not liking them doesn't mean they're not a good test. It just means it's what people like. And it's an art, just like a painting, right? We can agree that it might be some people's cup of tea and some people might think it's ugly, So I do want to say one thing while I'm thinking about it, or Wilson's going to not be happy with me. Don't forget, everybody, Isabel against John Young.
Yes.
Saturday, medal march against Taylor Self. Sunday, athlete showcase against really whoever wants it. But I know Austin's in the mix. I know Taylor's in the mix. Angelo's supposed to be in the mix. They're doing athletes only, right? So they're doing the handstand walk workout. $500 to the winner on Saturday, $500 for the winner on Sunday. Shoot, I'll put up
and a free JY barbell shirt for the winner on Heavy Isabel.
No. I'll put up 500 on Friday too. So I'll put up 500 for Heavy Isabel one. So John, you gotta freaking take some BPC 157 and let's do it. If you are interested in competing, there is a limited number of spots, right? We got 10 lanes. We would love to have 10 people do all 3 of those. Compete at syndicatecrown.com. That's compete at syndicatecrown.com. You do have to sign up on Competition Corner and sign the waiver so that you can get out there on the floor. But I put out a text message yesterday to like 8 or 9 coaches that all have athletes who have already qualified for the games that are in the East. And I'm like, hey, if they're going to be here fulfilling sponsorship obligations, if they're going to be just hanging out, watching someone else, like, hey, do any of these look fun to you? Like, come do it. It's Heavy Isabel, it's medal march, and it's athletes only. So if you want to just get a workout in because you're trying to still keep your training up and you want to do something fun and you want to set a time to beat, like I see Danielle comment, like I would love for her to come and do athletes only because I don't know that anyone would beat her time.
Oh, man.
Like, it would be cool to see something like that.
I
just casually go out there and set a time to beat before the athletes actually do it. So
the thing that's crazy is, I mean, like, just like recapping it all, every single day you will see one event where athletes are doing it that aren't part of the competition. You'll be able to see times that they get, but particularly on athletes only, I think this will be the first time we've seen games level athletes do a workout, particularly with Austin on athletes only, where they're not part of the competition. They're sort of setting the stage for what's about to happen. It has no implications on the competition, and it'll be a really cool showcase. Like, I think it's really cool that we're doing one every single day.
Yeah. And I know it's right before the women's first heat, but if you're not in the women's first heat and you're a male and you're not going to watch Taylor do medal march, you're insane. Like, if you want to see, like, okay, this is where I need to be at these times, like, dude, that's like giving you a study guide right there. So
yeah, if Austin does athletes only, like, yeah, for sure.
So buy tickets and show up. I know, like, I'm incredibly excited about this competition, but I think you're going to be missing a hell of a show if you don't.
Everybody's going to be there. I'll be there, actually. I'll have the RV there. It's going to be great. Caleb will be there. Sea Beaver.
Caleb?
Yeah. So he's going to learn about CrossFit. It's going to be great.
No, he won't.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Thank you, JR.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, JR. We're excited. I hope me and Tyler do not let you down.
You won't.
Spin, he's doing whatever Spin does, but we're in it.
I guess.
I'll be there, man. I'll be everywhere.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
Nice.
Thank you, JR. There you go. Syndicate Crown, everything you need to know.
I know you're excited, Tyler. I'm nervous.
Oh, dude, I couldn't be. I will be nervous, like, in that I want to execute, but we've prepped so much for this. I know no one will mess up, and I know, like, I just can't wait to finally do what we've all been talking about doing for 4 years.
Yeah. But it's hard for me to show my excitement until we're in it. I bet you after, like, because I just don't want to I don't want to mess it up. You know what I mean? And once I get Isabel done, I feel like I'll be like the most excited.
Isabel's done. Yes.
Once we're done with the first day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting. You'll be doing some we're all basically going to be on there at some point. So it'll be
Show up, guys.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right. Let's head over. Let's do some blind rankings before we find out if I hate the WFP. Let's see here. Do you think I hate it?
WFP?
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
I think that you have insight that most don't. And I think that everybody's talking good about how good the competition was, and it's going to eventually lead to either a big fight or nothingness, and you don't want to talk about how good it is because that's going to be the future. And that's I don't know if that's true at all, but that's my assessment of your feelings about it.
We'll find out. In the meantime, we'll play some blind rankings.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing right
we're doing
now.
blind rankings.
Hey, what the
He's
heck,
obviously pulling up blind rankings, John.
Dude, I was trying to get intimate with you, and then you just tried to shut me down.
That's why he shut you up. Because you were getting too in.
Blind rankings.
Look, people making fun of me. I was trying to watch what I said, man. I was trying to have the right words for it.
This week's blind rankings. Awful. Oh, let's see. There we go.
Just
Awful CrossFit feelings.
Oh, this is interesting.
This is in a competition. What is the last thing you want to have happen? What is
Shit in the
awful
shit in
thing
McDonald's cup.
while you're competing? So if you were thinking about in 2 weeks at Syndicate Crown, if you're on the competition floor, what do you want to not happen to you?
I was thinking like lactic acid feeling, like you know what I mean? The
pennies.
But this is different. This is different.
No, this is you're on everybody's watching you. You're on the live stream. You're on, everybody's watching you from the crowd.
Okay.
And this happens. So we'll find out if what you guys think. All right. First one. Tripping over the final barbell.
5. I mean, you're already done. Yeah. Good.
My thing is,
that's not that bad. It's good memories.
Is you're gonna get a lot of reels. Like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like I don't think that's bad at all.
Careful, Spin. Careful.
Ooh, there we go.
I think it's like it's awesome.
It's not a big deal.
We're laughing afterwards. Like it's good. You're good.
Okay.
I think a lot of athletes would hate that though. Like, it would kill them. And it's like,
I think it's worse if you're the winner.
Everybody's watching.
You see what I'm saying? You're right. Well, you just won. You want to have your moment, right? And then your moment is that. So, like, you just killed everybody, right? You should be proud. But like, if you're in the middle of the pack, or even if you're last, like, it's just, man, we're having a day.
I still liked it when Froning dropped it behind him when that was still a thing.
It's a thing in grid, so stay tuned.
No, there you go.
I'm going to be doing it a lot.
Is that how you hurt your shoulder?
We won't talk about it. Go ahead.
All right. Next one. Going out too hot and then just melting down.
Okay. Let's think of what can happen.
The good old Noah Olson.
Because to me, this is not that bad just because you're like,
you do it all the time.
No. but I just went out too hot. Like that's it. That's all it is. You know what I mean? I blew up because I went out too hot. You know why you blew up. It happened. Now you're just suffering to get through the event, but it's not even, you don't even have pressure to speed up because you blew up. You know what I mean? Like you're just, it happens to everybody. Everybody knows what it feels like. I just don't think it's that of all the bad things that can happen. We're talking about bad things that happen, right? Like there's not going to be random good things on this list. As far as bad things, I just don't think that's that bad.
If you the thing about going out too hot is if it works, you look cool as shit. If it doesn't work,
well, I think
you just look dumb.
I think we're only referencing when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. But I think to me, the reason I reference if it goes well is because like there is that upside of going out too hot.
You've risked it for something.
Yes.
It wasn't not all the time is it stupid. You were going for it.
Right.
And then you just didn't have it.
And like nobody, I mean, like unless you do something really dumb, it's like, go, pull like a 1:30 on a marathon road. It's like you don't want to do that. Like in the first.
And I don't think we're talking about that.
No.
Right.
But yeah, I think
we're talking about like
hot.
Noah Olson doing the 2-2-3 intervals and
Don't get me wrong, that's
coming
a
out on
horrible
the rope
feeling,
climb way too fast.
but you can rationalize it. Is all.
Physically, it's horrible, but
Yeah.
mentally, it's fine. I'm going 4.
4?
I'm just saying you can mentally rationalize why it happened.
Yeah.
And guys, the comments are referencing stuff. That's a part of awful feelings, like not being able to lunge at the last minute, like the last lunge, not being able to do it. Like,
but she needed to do that.
Too hot. That might be one of the next things we have.
I think that's what I like about Bag 9 is you have to go out hot if you're in a must win, like you have to.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit, man.
Something like that. All right, next one up.
Depends on the biscuit, really.
And then you're in a haze and stuck in mayonnaise.
Yeah. Here we go. Seeing that Hiller made a video about you.
Happens all the time.
I've had a few of these instances. Honestly, this is 5 for me. Most of them are good. I've had one kind of bad one. The other 2 kind of have my back.
Yeah, that's not the Hiller video I'm thinking about. But
are you thinking about like a Hooper style video?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good thing. I felt great.
I think there's a lot of people that would disagree with you, but
it's all. I mean, if we're talking about CrossFit, like he made some. Okay, Brooke, like that's probably
you see the thumbnail come out. You're scrolling your Instagram stories and it says
well situation where like
like where like and you see it and you're like, uh-oh, what did I do?
I would say 2. I don't think it's the worst thing, but
I don't even think. I mean, like,
3?
If I'm Brooke and I'm seeing that, I'm like, like he's got a point. I screwed up.
For you to say that though, because it's not you. Like, and when this means like your game's ticket, and then he makes a video about you, and I'm not saying she can get there because like CrossFit didn't catch it, and then Hiller brought it up, and then they caught it. That's not what I'm saying, Dave. But now you have thousands of people saying you shouldn't go to the games.
Right. Like
she woke up
that morning. She puts her scores in, and next thing she wakes up the next morning and Hiller has a video showing your burpees.
How many DMs do you get saying you are trash? Like that is because of him.
Well, okay, John. So an analogous thing for you is the Big Mama outlash.
Sure.
Is that a 2?
I think that was worse than what Brooke is getting. Here's
the
thing.
1, huh?
Brooke here, and with the strong women thing, Brooke's just saying, "Hey, girl, your chest isn't to the ground," and it wasn't. Right? I'm not kidding you. It was for a week, a straight week. I had 50 DMs saying that I should go kill myself because of what I did for a whole week, dude. And I'm like, man, y'all need better things to do, honestly. You'd have thought I cheated on my wife with my assistant, and like it was the type of DMs I was getting.
Mitchell probably got less DMs on that than you.
It was wild. Anyway, so I think that's worse than what Brooke is getting. I think it's a little bit what you say, where it's like he has a point. Because I don't think Hiller ever makes a video out of like malice. He's just bringing it to light, right?
Okay.
And he's right? Like I think most of the time if not all the time, he's right in what he's pointing out. But the backlash that comes with it, I think, is way out of proportion than what it should be.
Then what's the worst Hiller video, CrossFit related? Because I was going to talk about Brian Fran, but that's not really a CrossFit video. Hip and Steel?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because he fought him about it, and like it turned into like a whole like war.
Well, that's the reaction to it though. Like just literally the video, right? Like the thumbnail comes out.
I mean, Brian's pretty. I think anytime he says like has the worst or the best, or the most, like those are always like those are different videos. Those are like he's coming after this.
I mean, I do know like when he made the video about Marcus Philly. Like it wasn't even that like bad, right? But like, I think I remember Marcus reaching out to him, and his initial reaction was, "Oh no, what did I do?" Like,
Yeah.
Be worried, right? And I think a few others have been like that.
I
The
bet
initial reaction is, "Oh crap!" Like,
The friend one's definitely I think the top one.
I think HQ, when they get videos, when Hillard posts videos like I think Jeremy CrossFit effed up. It wasn't me. See, it's easy. And that's why I want to give it a 3 because I'm like, yeah, it wasn't me.
You know what's crazy? If Brooke just said that when he made that, like if Brooke just made a joke about it and we're like, that wasn't me, done. Nothing happened. Nothing happens. Maybe you get penalized. I mean, I think she probably would still got because the ring muscle ups were bad too. But or just be like, I was in a mirror world and I'm actually the other way around. But like nothing, the backlash that she got would not have happened at all.
It disarmed everything. Yeah.
At all. Instead, you make it, I never get no rep to my burpees. Ever. And you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Instead you make it this thing. And it shouldn't be a thing.
So where do you want to put it, John?
I say 2. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but I do think it's not great if you wake up in the morning and you see it.
I will cede to John. I think there might be some stuff in here that are better or worse. Yeah, shrink that.
Get it smaller. Why is it not coming?
Come on. We got it.
Come on. We'll just move it down here. give it a second.
It's going to move that slow the whole time.
No, I got to be able to grab it. It's there
It's
we
like
go.
when that thing goes towards the corner of the screen.
You just wait for it.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
There.
All right. Next one up. Here we go. You got 1 or 3 left. No repping your final.
Oh,
I think this is devastating, dude. Dude, because you're one step away from making it to the games, and then you fail, and then you bring it back. You try to rush it because you're like, "Oh my gosh, I failed. I need to go," and then you fail again. It's not just one no rep on the last lunge; it ends up being like a minute, right? And I cannot think of, a person that this has happened to multiple times that Tyler hates a lot. But
that's the worst part about the no rep on the last lunge is then you have to hear me call you a quitter.
That's true.
And I don't want to do that, but I will do that. So I'm going with number 1. I don't want to be called a quitter.
I would say number 1. It happened to Annika too.
Yeah.
At World Fitness Project as well. It happened to Annika. No, I think it's pretty devastating.
We're either gonna eat.
we gotta work on that.
I don't know what's going on. All right, where we want to take that? 1 or 3? 1. All right.
We might
number
get
3
on this, John.
The only athlete left on the floor.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All of your competitors.
I don't know, dude.
Telling you how to do a muscle up.
Hold on.
I think
Tyler,
that's
go
one.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself. My parents are.
Yeah. I definitely think that's a 1. I hate that feeling when it happened to me. It's like there were all these. We were prepping for Crash. It was the first workout, and it was a swim event at the pool, and Taylor wanted to work out, and he was like, "Do this GHD swim workout with me." I'm not a bad swimmer, but I'm not great. Taylor's pretty decent, and it's 150 GHD sit-ups, and it's interval style. Taylor finishes 2 rounds before I do, and it's just me and like 60 people just looking at me, and I felt so stupid. I want to die in those moments. I want to disappear, turn into a puddle of goo, and just.
I guarantee, like Katrin on the rope climbs, 100% like, yeah, no, this was the worst. That was the worst regional moment of my entire career.
Yes,
bar none. Right, like, and then people are trying to tell you how to do the workout. Oh, just you can do it. You can do that. And
though now that I think about it, knowing that you are fit enough and you screwed up on execution on a last lunge might be worse because you almost had
it.
Dude,
it's way worse, dude. It's way worse. It's in the grip of your hands, and then your grip fails.
Yeah. I think we did a good job.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I think 3 should be moved to 2. Sitting on the floor should be moved to 2, and Hiller should be moved down. But that's just me. I think everything else is in order.
That's fair. Okay. There you go.
Job.
Blind rankings.
Good job, John.
John disappeared.
Dave, you can't comment that.
Get with the programming. Then all the athletes just circle around like the circle of death. Yeah.
The Sharks.
I feel like that used to that happened more. Like nowadays, they don't do it as much. Like every once in a while, somebody will go back, but a lot of times they just kind of stand there and watch you.
We don't have the spread of athletes we used to have. Like those things could happen a lot easier back in the day, and now it's like it's dwindled down to nothing. So all the athletes are kind of qualified.
All right, we better move on to this. Got 10 minutes, and then we're gonna shut her down. Do we hate the WFP? Tyler, you were there.
I was.
I watched it from the live stream. John, I think, watched at least a little bit from the live stream.
Yeah, I watched the live stream. I watched it all, every rep.
Tyler, before we get into that, what were your thoughts of being there in person at the WFP Tour Stop 1?
I've been itching to talk about this for a week. I know you guys are like,
do it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I went there and I was trying to be very open-minded. And I made that post on my story that like I was asked no less than 10 times, why are you here? You guys hate WFP, which I thought was hilarious.
From fans or
fans, coaches, athletes, managers, all of them. I even had one fan come up to me and tell me he watches the show. He's from Indy. And then he almost apologized for going. And I'm like, no, dude, like these are the best athletes in the world and they're in your hometown. Definitely go. But I thought that was funny that he was like halfway apologized. Like, no, like fuck that. But I went in super open-minded, like just trying to like, I don't want to hate anything going into it. I think that they so breakdown, they were definitely focused on the athletes.
That's what they said they would do.
Overly so. Okay, I'll swing back around that later. The floor was cool as shit. If you were in person, it looked not great on the live stream. It was really cool in person. The athlete warm-up area, it was an entire football field. They had a ton of space. It was nothing like Wodapalooza where everybody's cramped in. That worked to, I think, its detriment almost. So I went around and I sort of talked to athletes that I knew, and I knew that either didn't like or they were not paid by the WFP but were competing there, or they were paid by the WFP competing. And the thing that I'll say is the vibe felt like a 6. And one athlete in particular told me it feels like a preseason game. The hype was just down. I think some of that had to do with the lighting. If you go into a movie, right, and it's sort of dark in there, everybody's kind of whispering. When it was between events, people weren't really loud. It was sort of hushed tones the whole time. And I think that decreased the vibe of the entire thing. And that so much that the athletes felt that. It was definitely very, very quiet. It felt not hype. One athlete in particular told me that though they felt peaked and felt ready to be there and wanted to compete to win, that they just felt like there was a gear missing because the hype was down.
Then why did you not speak the freak up when Tanner was trying to talk that everybody was competing, huh?
We weren't ready. On the back end, in what I've heard about the administration of the event, has been horror stories. So much that people who work the event as either judges or equipment managers, different things like that, said that they were completely understaffed. I heard one story that I think Yeti had coolers there and there was water and stuff in those coolers, and they had one cooler for essentially the staff, and at one point they took it and they were like, the athletes need it, at which point one of the equipment managers were like, there's not enough of us here, we don't even have time to get water, but if we did, now we don't fucking have water. So it's some of these people who are running the event have run multiple events, and that's like a basic thing, like take care of the people. And so it's like when I saw these shirts of people matter more, which people? Who are you talking about? And so it's like somebody said, like, maybe just athletes matter more.
Well, just the good ones.
I'll let you go because I have like a much longer spiel about what I think this implies for the future.
Yeah, I want to play a quick part of the video here. On Train Think Tank, they spoke about it, and Perrin spoke, I think, more about this was about the atmosphere. Let's play a little clip.
I feel like the environment, I don't know how you guys felt, was very laid back, and in some ways maybe a little too laid back. Like it wasn't the pressure of qualifying for the games or on the line, which I think maybe help some people relax into it. And for some people, maybe this is the first tour, people have the games still to come, people are waiting for
people just finished the online
just finished, and they might have been a little bit flat. That was the only thing. I feel like intensity and mood, I didn't feel like there was as much crazy competition between people. But as far as what they had laid out for everyone, there was more than enough space, a very good warm-up area as far as they had all the implements except for the burpee blocks, I think.
Yeah, there's no ballistic blocks.
The ballistic blocks was the only thing missing.
They brought in extra.
So, I mean, I think Perrin would agree with you, right? Like, I would say, first of all, go watch that if you want to get a firsthand perspective of what they thought, because I think all of them were there. No, I think that's right. Like, the preseason probably is a really good way of putting it. And Kotler kind of touched on it on Clydesdale this evening. They aren't fighting for a game spot. It's not all on the line, right? And all of it has been, you're trying to get points. And the final event in Copenhagen is worth double. That's where you're going to move the most. And so I've heard a lot of like, well, it's just 1 out of 3. It's not the end of the world. Like, and Kotler kind of spoke about, he spoke about it really positively, but then like, you get all these opportunities, but at the same time, like there wasn't that fire, right? Like your whole season's not on the line. It's not coming down to it. You can be laid back. I want to watch people fight for it. It's the playoffs. Like you don't watch game 3 of Major League Baseball and get that invested in who wins. Like you want your team to win. Cool. Great. But it's just 1 out of 162 games. And I get the 3s less. But there's something about being in the playoffs. Playoff baseball in October is way different than regular season baseball.
Mm-hmm. NBA.
And,
So I mean, I think Dallin said what it needs to be, and I don't know if the organizers like look at it as that. On the Coffee Pods and Watch show, it was his last question. If you can go find it, it's been. But I'm sorry for putting you on which. If you can't, no worry. It was the last question downside. But he said that he looked at it like CrossFit is
at Harbor Freight.
Spin if you can mute your tab, that'd be appreciated.
Hey, now I'm trying to find it for you. Just calm down.
CrossFit. I like the CrossFit
Harbor
Games.
Freight, new sponsor.
That's right.
The CrossFit Games is like the Super Bowl of fitness, right? It's the Olympics, right? And the gold medal, whoever wins the 100-meter dash is the fastest man in the world. And then the World Fitness Project is the Diamond League. And it's just for marketing. You can win money doing it. It's a big competition. The biggest athletes show up to it. But it's never looked at as like who wins that is the fastest man alive. I don't know if he said it more clearly, but do you have it now, Spin?
I did. Yeah.
Isn't the Waterpalooza that?
No, but it's a series. The Diamond League's a series. Like there's multiple competitions, there's a championship at the end. Like, and I thought it was a perfect analogy.
I think this is it.
Your time starts now. Go.
With all the competitions, the shaft really is big and it is long, tall, all the things. But the way I see it is the CrossFit Games are the pinnacle of the sport. You find the fittest on earth. Everyone knows the title. Everyone knows what to turn to at that point. And I watch a lot of track right now. And to compare it, the CrossFit Games is the Olympics, right? You want to come home with the Olympic gold. You want to be the fittest on earth. We have Rogue, where it's like the World Championships, happens every year, but it's one of the biggest meets you can go to, or competitions for our sake. And then you have WFP, which would be more like the Diamond League, and you have all the best athletes there all the time, consistent season. They're throwing out money in the Diamond League, and winning that is a big deal, because not only do you get prize money, you get to grow your brand, whatever it might be, continue to compete, and establish dominance on your competitors. And I think all of those things are great opportunities. That's kind of how I see the Shaft.
That's how you see the Shaft. Barry McCockner. Is Dallin sponsored by Tier?
No.
Maybe. We're not sure. We should ask him. But now, I think the next question should be, do the organizers and the people in charge of the WFP, do they see it as the Diamond League? Because it's easy for the athletes to say that. It's easy. And if I was an athlete that had a pro card and all this stuff, I would too. It's free money that I'm getting, right? And like all the Instagram videos of the athletes talking about the WFP, they're paying them. You're not going to say bad things about people who are paying you. But if the WFP came out and said, that's exactly what we are. We're the Diamond League. We're not what the CrossFit Games are. Like we want to one day, we want to grow. And if we can grow and have the most prize money, maybe we can replace it eventually. Like even if they had that game plan.
Well, there's more money in the Diamond League than the Olympics.
Right. And I think I look at like a strongman, like where the Rogue Invitational has way more money for strongman than the actual world's strongest man. But there's only one title that's the world's strongest man. It doesn't even matter that one has more money. Obviously, all the big people want to do it, but it's not the title, right? But if the organizers looked at it like that, I think everybody would be all about the WFP. I don't think they do. I think the athletes look at it like that. I think if it was that, it would be great, and I'm all for it. I think what you guys are alluding to, or no, or whatever, or rumors, the organizers don't feel that way. Go ahead.
I want to spin. Do you have something before I go off?
Would you agree with that, though? That if it was like that, you'd be all about it? If that truly was what it was?
Yes. Somebody made a point to me that they asked some of the athletes when they left, how you feel about it? And they were like, oh, it was good. And he was like, was it really good? Like, or are you like, if you went to like a semifinal and like I asked you how it was and it was good, you would say like, it was good. And that levity in the good, he was like, I think like that's the bought and paid for side of it, is that the money going towards this is like paying for that faith and that seeing things through rose-colored glasses. Now, to hit on what John's saying about they want to be the Diamond League or whatever, they 100% don't.
No, I said they should be. That's what they should want to be.
That's not what they want.
I'm saying we could get behind it if they were, and they're not, and that's why we're not behind it.
I understand.
Okay.
It was not a secret to like, I'm getting rather frustrated because I've heard people say it since, is like they're not competing with CrossFit. It is not a secret to those who are there that they are competing with CrossFit. If you just look at like market share, like they are in competition with CrossFit. They are like, they're taking sponsors who would otherwise go to other events. Now, I'm not saying like sponsors shouldn't go to the best events, they should. But what I'm saying is like beyond just market share, they are gunning for taking over the CrossFit sphere. This is where I start to have an issue. I don't care, like run a good event, like that's great. I care about all the other things that matter. And to me, and I think what I summed it up best when I talked to somebody notable in the space. They were like, I thought you hated this. And
close to WFP.
Not in WFP. It took me a little while to articulate it. They were like, it seems like a concerted effort amongst your group that you didn't cover this. And they were like, do you really hate the WFP? And I said, I'm not going to speak for the group, but I think for me, what I summarize all this as is until we know what it looks like around CrossFit, we are going to be hesitant. The thing that matters most to me is the nugget of CrossFit. We're changing lives. We're fixing all that. And the fruits that come out of CrossFit. If they are in competition with CrossFit, this is detrimental to all of that. The longer the bleed goes on of the affiliates, that is on CrossFit, but it doesn't help when others might be leaving to be a WFP affiliate. If WFP takes over those affiliates, starts doing all that, that's a drain off of CrossFit. And at the end of the day, like if everybody left and became a WFP affiliate tomorrow, at the end of the day, WFP doesn't hold anything. They do CrossFit, but they don't have that centralized methodology and spirit and mission that CrossFit has. They don't have the religion.
Be open.
They don't have the religion and faith of all of that. And so we need the mothership to survive. And while I don't work for CrossFit, nor am I fucking paid by CrossFit or anyone I know paid by CrossFit, we care about that
either.
And we equally throw out shots at CrossFit. It's not like we have just been like totally hype on HQ this whole time. Like we care about that mission. We care about the centralized part of it, of what that mission is. And if WFP is gunning for that, this will bleed the entire system to death. It will crash because CrossFit won't quit. WFP won't quit. And guess what? It's just going to demolish the entire thing. So the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get.
No, yes, you said that perfectly. Like, first of all, I want to address, I didn't post things because I was traveling for work. That's why I was not on the show Wednesday. I got back on Friday. I didn't feel well, like exhausted from doing other stuff not related to the barbell spin. I just didn't have time. Like, I do it. Like, I share what I can. It wasn't that I was trying to avoid the World Fitness Project. I didn't do anything for French Throwdown either. Like,
yeah.
So like silence was not trying to boycott anything.
We didn't talk about the French Throwdown on the show.
No, we're not talking about TFX that starts tomorrow. Like, we cover
not only
things.
Did we not talk about it, the people who are throwing shade at us for not covering either one, Heat
we're getting no shade for French Throwdown. None.
Well, Heat 1 hosted French Throwdown in the app. It is the least participated Heat 1 we've ever run. So it's like, throw shade at us. You don't care. You didn't care to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't just not cover World Fitness Pro. We didn't cover anything.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We didn't work at all.
Yeah.
To John's point, they also talked about it on Training Think Tank. Let me pull it up here. I think when you are paid, you say things differently when asked versus behind the scenes, and this kind of slipped out.
As Laurie Winkleman asked, how did the lighting affect things for the athletes?
I heard a decent amount of complaints on, there were 3 GHDs.
Mm-hmm.
They said going down, lights straight in the eye, sitting up, lights straight in the eye.
Rope climbs.
Yeah. At rope climbs, which they said was a little bit more sketchy. And nobody complained about it in person on the jerk, but I heard people commenting on it that it was an issue.
The rule for the jerk was at the.
Whoops.
When I posted a video, which was me watching the live stream, and I couldn't see anything because it was too dark. And I saw videos of others post like from the venue, right? And it didn't look as dark on the phone coverage or whatever. But if I'm watching the screen, I want to be able to see the athletes. And I couldn't see who was in what lane. It was like you back out of the spotlight, you couldn't see it. Like the shadows were bad. But then everybody on the post, if you go look at some of the athletes, it's like, oh no, the lighting was great. That's what I want. Yet back in the back, when they're talking to their coaches and others amongst themselves, they're complaining about the lights in their eyes. The rope climbs were sketched because you look up and there's a spotlight coming straight down from that. You can't see exactly where you're grabbing or where you're going to hit. First of all, everybody's complaining about safety. That's a safety issue. But to John's point, we heard zero complaints about it. Why? Because 40 of the 100 athletes were paid, and everybody wants us to succeed. That was there.
They need it.
I don't want it to fail, but you have to be honest with yourself that the lighting was not good on the live stream. It just wasn't. No. It wasn't. And like, you have to make it better. And like the different color Christmas tree lights, whatever, like fine. But like, you go look at I dare you to go back and look at a CrossFit Games venue, right? And seeing the crowd. There's something to seeing the crowd cheering in front of you, right? Like Noah said, like, oh, you just didn't, you could hear them, but you couldn't see them. How many times does a Games athlete go across the finish line and there's people right there in front, giving them high fives, cheering in front of them. They hug their spouse or whatever. And it's a huge, awesome moment. You got zero of that. And I complained about Rogue. I thought it was too dark. I felt like you couldn't tell what the atmosphere was. And everybody said the atmosphere is great there. We couldn't tell on the live stream. I complained about Rogue from that. I don't like that darkness. And I think Framework Events did both.
It's their signature, huh?
Turn off. Let's draw. Go ahead, Spen. Sorry.
You have to, like, I'm watching this as a fan this weekend. I didn't cover it. I'm not doing anything other than just watching the live stream when I had time. And when we call something out, it's not because we're hating. It's because this is what we're seeing. We're not the only ones. And so you can't confuse a criticism with hate.
No. And that's the thing that people don't like that we do is we will openly criticize, just like we've openly criticized CrossFit for years. But it's like it's because we want it to be better. It's not because we are trying to hate it.
Yeah. John?
Sorry, John. Let's draw lines then. Because you guys say that you guys like I want a definitive stance, not even just for people, but for me, because I don't know where we are. I know.
John's confused.
No. Hear me out. Spin, you just said it's not that I don't want it to succeed. If they're definitively against CrossFit, do you not want them to succeed? Because I'm with you. If it's like they want to take over CrossFit. If the Open, I'm a full-on believer. If the Open is no more, which would happen if WFP was the leading, like that's the leading thing in fitness, right? Even if say they did it. That's the big thing for fitness. If the Open goes away, it will be the death of CrossFit. I fully believe that because then there is no community. There is none. And I know some people disagree with that and say the affiliates will always survive. I think it would be the death of CrossFit as we know it, especially as a sport for sure. But I think it would bleed even deeper. So if you think for whatever reasons, and we can talk more in depth on it after the show. Like that's the goal. That's what they want. There's not going to be a happy party after this. Like there's no chance we can't live in harmony or like two different things in the athletes. And it's going to be good for the athletes in the future that coincide with the CrossFit Games. If you don't think that can happen, why? And then let's have a stance on this is why we're not going to cover them because they want the death of CrossFit. And if they don't, then tell me what we're doing. Like what? You know
I
what
think
I mean?
they are. I think saying they want to coexist with CrossFit is not true.
And you think the athletes are blind to this? They're lying to the athletes.
I don't think it's a lie. They just haven't stated it.
But the athletes are blind to it.
Some of them probably.
I think a lot of them. I don't think it's a bad thing for the athletes to be blind to it. If somebody's giving me $30,000, I'm taking it and thinking they're great too. But they're blind to the fact of what they're trying to do big picture. And I think it just needs to be made clear that it's not criticism. These people want to kill CrossFit for their own gain. We need to look at it like this is what it is and just make it clear. And and the athletes need to know that. because I think if they knew that, they wouldn't be singing the graces of WFP. I don't think Colton's going to randomly, now that he's on invited, I don't think he's going to sing the graces of WFP. I think he's going to take their money and make fun of them.
Watch this clip real quick.
Is a competitor to WFP, or do you
music is terrible?
Two separate things, or is it two things that can absolutely coexist, but there's no competitiveness
right
there? Well, how do you feel with regards to that?
I'm just staying in my own lane and delivering on what our vision is.
Yeah.
And I think the whole team would ditto that. Like, we have too much going on right now to worry about what other people are doing or saying in the media or other businesses. We'll focus on delivering an incredible product to our community.
That is
I think you might want to
not
talk
the
to everybody.
answer that was being said 3 months ago. And we've
What
said
was
it the
it 3
whole
months
time.
ago?
3 months ago is no, and we want both. We want athletes to be able to do both. We just want more opportunities for them, give them opportunity to have more money. Now it's, I'm only focused on myself. I want to not worry about what other people are doing.
I think Will should talk to the rest of the people on his team.
Look, we have seen it the last month. Athletes have withdrawn from competitions. Athletes have picked and choose which way they want to go. It directly competed against the French Throwdown. And you're not going to tell me that you didn't know the CrossFit schedule, so you just had to pick a date. I'm almost positive they said that they had to make a change to the schedule because it was going to be May 17th in Oklahoma City, and they moved it up a week, right? At the last 4 years, May 17th has had a semifinal. Don't lie that you're doing that. If you don't want to compete with it, you put it in the off season. You put it in between August and January, right? That's more opportunities. You don't put it staggering and on top of the CrossFit Games season if you don't have a motive to take it over, right? And then you have people like Pat Vellner, who comes in there underprepared. You have Laura Horvath, who throws a temper tantrum on her last lunge. You have athletes who don't appear to be trying as hard as they could because, in Kotler's terms, it's a season. They're not fighting for that one spot to make it to the games to make their season. It's not the playoffs. So they back off if they don't feel like pushing as hard as they can. And you have people that have competed multiple weeks in a row and they don't come in fresh. You see subpar from what you're used to. And then World Fitness Project is going to add another event next year. How does it make sense? Like, athletes are already trying to figure it out. Gazan skipped semifinals because she couldn't do multiple weeks in a row. She didn't do Mayhem because she wanted to focus on this, and they had a plan to try to do both. But I asked on Clydesdale, I said, how much is too much? And Kotler couldn't answer that. They're trying to figure that out right now. And you're going to add another competition. The only thing you can do is then you have to make a decision. You can't do both well. And all these athletes have had multiple opportunities to compete. You could compete at Wodapalooza in person. You could compete in semifinals, the games, Rogue, if you're good enough, which is all this is really matters about. You have Dubai Down Under Championship. There's all kinds of in-person competitions that are large enough. And athletes skip them over and over and over again because they couldn't compete too much. And now you have a new league in there, and you're saying, yeah, we're not trying to compete. We're going to put a competition right in the middle of your schedule, a month after, in the same month as the games, and we're going to add one next year. Tell me you're not competing. Tell me you're not trying to blow it up. And we're going to come down with a watered down product if half the athletes decide to go WFP route for $30,000 a year. Great.
But if they come out and say it, what then?
Well, at least we know what we're dealing with. Right now, we have to read between the lines. But I think
you've kind of convinced yourself that's what we're dealing with. So, like,
we are. They just won't say it.
I'm saying, well, let's just talk about it like that's what it is.
Well, so they come out and they say,
I need somebody to ask Will directly do you want to take over the CrossFit sphere and ultimately means the death of the CrossFit Games? I like just that question straightforward and not word salad answer, like yes or no. You know what I mean? And then just you answer the questions.
What would that gain them?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Spin. Like you're clearly convinced of this, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just wish we could not be selfish either things. You know what I mean? Like I wish it could just be another competition. It was well ran, probably not sustainable, but the competition was good. I want it to coexist. I want it to be successful for the athletes, but it's WFP's fault if they're like, they can't accept what role they could have. They can have. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and if they're not going to, I want it to be abundantly clear. And if that's what we're operating off of, that this is what they're going to do, then let's not talk about the Will's word salad. Let's not talk about like the inconsistencies. We're there. They're trying to take over CrossFit. They don't want to say it, but they are. They don't say it to the athletes. Every single time we have an athlete on here, we should say, do you know you're being lied to? That should be the first question. And then see how they answer it. And be like, I know you're getting paid $30,000. You don't have to answer the question. But you are blind to what they want to do. They don't want CrossFit to be a thing anymore. Like, that's how we should operate. We shouldn't be like, well, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it's already done and we're convinced, is what I'm saying. Like, let's make it clear all the way around.
Well, Dallon's answer to that question is very telling. Like, I had never heard somebody speak like that about the two. Because I think if every other communication, it's been World Fitness Project's where it's at. That's where I want to put my focus on. And to Dallon's statement, it to me, it sounds like, hey, I still want to win the CrossFit Games. I don't mind doing this because there's some money on the line and I'll compete and I'm fitness privileged. That's Tyler's words, not mine or his. But I don't think it's sustainable. And if you listen to Talking Elite Fitness, Tommy Marquez is like, oh, what if athletes go to TFX this weekend and get hurt and then they end up getting into through the semifinals and they didn't have to compete? You could say the same thing about going to World Fitness Project instead of going to the games. Like somebody could have gotten hurt. Like Travis Mayer's hurt. Bethany Flores is hurt. Emily Rolfe sounds like she's hurt. Like, what if they don't go to the CrossFit Games this year?
Do you blame the athletes for trying to get theirs?
No, I don't blame the athletes at all, but I don't think they should be lied to. I think World Fitness Project is lying to them. I think Dallon is blind to what's really happening, and I think he would admit that he's blind to what's really happening. I think he hopes it's the Diamond League. He wants that to be the case. That's why he answered it that way, because to him, that's what it feels like. Like
it's
they're
a way
getting
it's a way for the athletes to make money, but it's
right,
not.
And it's a way for us to make money. Everything else, they don't see. They're not a part of. You know what I mean? So I think most of the athletes are blind to this, and I don't think it's their fault at all. Now let me ask you this question.
Hold on, right here.
Okay.
Adidas is kind of a dope sponsor. If you watch Hiller's video, it sounds like they paid $0. Same with Noble. That's the rumor going on, is that those guys paid $0. That's not a sponsor.
Deal.
Let me ask you.
What were you going to say, John?
Let me ask you this question: If they were like, our goal is to be the biggest thing in CrossFit, the CrossFit Games can still be the CrossFit Games, but we're going to operate, and we want to eventually be the biggest thing. And like they were upfront about saying that. And they're not trying to replace the CrossFit Games. They're still going to be the Open. They're still going to be like however you get to the CrossFit Games. But like how Rogue is, the winner of Rogue wins basically the same amount as the CrossFit Games. They're close enough, right? Mm-hmm. If Rogue was $500,000, it would be the most. But I still think the CrossFit Games would be the CrossFit Games. Rogue has never tried to step on CrossFit Games' toes, ever, right? They have a great relationship, blah, 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 blah. do you think it's possible for the World Fitness Project to want to do that, for that to be their goal, and it can coexist? But like the strongman thing, like it's just it does get bigger than I don't think it's sustainable either. I'm just saying like on a Cloud9 future trip, do you think they could be what they want to be, and then the CrossFit Games still be the CrossFit Games, the Open still be the Open?
You can't have 4+ competitions a year. And in that interview that you saw there with Will, he's talking about even adding in-person challenger qualifiers, not the online piece of things. Like adding more and more and more. Not going to work. Like you cannot do that. And I get Kotler on here right now, and he'd say, I don't know how many times that Alex can compete. Alex is 23. She could probably compete as much as anybody else, but concerned about injuries, concerned about overuse, concerned about burnout, all of that stuff. And as it is now, even if it's just 4 and they say we want to coexist, there's athletes making decisions. French throwdown, look at the field that just competed. Not even close to what semifinals was last year. Why? Because all the European athletes that are still competing were in Indianapolis, right? So you were watering down the field in both cases, because if it would have been nice, maybe Bronislaw would have competed in WFP. Okay, that probably adds to the challenger field or the pro field if he made it in the qualifier. Like those athletes could all be in one spot, but they're not going to be because there's too many competitions that are going to overlap. It's just not going to work.
Clip this,
what
athletes. Be ready. Next year, the WFP will have more events, and they will schedule it during the CrossFit season with no regard. I'm not telling you that this might happen. This is 100% going to happen.
Like on Syndicate, on in affiliate semifinals.
Good a chance as any. If you're gonna have one per quarter, it's gonna line up pretty darn close.
And you're telling me that people can't adjust their training and make it
only a few can.
So John, you wanted a definitive statement of where I stand. I'm not going to turn this into a red team versus a blue team thing. The thing I care about is CrossFit.
Can we be the red team if we're going to be one?
Whatever color you want, green, orange.
Let's explicitly use red and blue, and I want to be red.
Okay.
Scenario 3, which is a new commenter. Welcome to the show, Scenario 3. I doubt it will happen, Tyler. ... They're going to fold under the financial pressure. I will say this very, very clearly. Billions of dollars at their disposal. Billions. I won't play the red team versus blue team game. I think some of the things they're trying to do, like some of their initiatives are good. You want to pay the athletes, you want to highlight people, you want them to give more like opportunities for sponsorship or highlight them. That's cool. That's all great. Even with the affiliate thing or the World Fitness, what's it called?
Projects.
Projects. Cool. It's like, that's just CrossFit. That's what it's doing.
You knew what it was called, man. What? Don't be Sevon. That's a bit. Come on.
No, I really didn't know.
No. Go ahead. Look. You tried to take 7. You are sucking up like a madman right now, dude. Come on.
It is trying to destroy of what we're all after. And I think they think this is a good idea. And they are paying the athletes to believe that what they're doing is the right thing. And I think if athletes step away and they look at the full scope, John, you were saying like the athletes, they need to ask the questions, or somebody in the comments was saying like the athletes should be smart enough to answer the questions. They can answer or ask questions all day, but if you're told to lie, you don't know any fucking better.
You don't.
And so it's like, I don't blame the athletes at all. I think a few of them might know, but I think the vast majority of them are just trying to do what's good for them. And it's like, I'm not asking you to take money out of your pocket to save some higher idea. That's my job. but like it's a lot more complicated than it seems. And the methodology and all that stuff, that our ecosystem suffers the longer this goes on. Now, there is a possibility in which WFP could buy CrossFit. That's very real. Very real.
And then what does that look like?
What happens if they buy CrossFit?
That's what I just asked.
I know. I'm asking you guys.
I wouldn't ask you the question if I knew the answer, Tyler. Then what's the solution?
I mean, I offered this conversation to somebody, and I was like, hey, what if I kind of have to shut up if they do buy CrossFit and they uphold the methodology? And they said, I don't think they will, because ultimately this has all been about money so far. Somebody said this is a business model. It is a business model. And what I fear is that they do take over. I mean, yeah, you can reject the offer until they come in with some of them billions, and then you can't reject the offer anymore. They're being sold by Berkshire.
Yeah, it's not CrossFit's decision. It's Berkshire.
Yeah.
No, like I'm still going to cover it, but I'm not. I don't. You heard parents say it. It seemed like it was more of a just somewhat of an exhibition. Dallin's talking about it as a money league. It's not the playoffs like the CrossFit Games season. Like, we want to crown the fittest on earth. We want to see who can take the methodology the furthest to become the fittest on earth. That's what excites me, right? Watching people do thrusters for points is not as exciting. It's not going to be, right? Like, over like multiple competitions and all this stuff, and you're not going to be trying as hard. If there's nothing else out there and that was what it was, okay, fine. But you can't come in and try to bully and push off. I don't even want to say bully, but like come in and use different language to say what you're trying to do, and it's not actually upfront. We started covering and we started doing CrossFit. We didn't come in and do the World Fitness Project. And time and time again, new leagues have been formed, Live Golf, IndyCar racing. A lot of these things have come in with a competing league, and it's blown up, and both have suffered from it.
Mm-hmm.
And CrossFit is not big enough. If you care about this, if you care about watching the sport, it's not big enough to handle that blow up.
It's not. And like,
but again, what is the solution then? Hate on it? That's not a
Seth
solution.
Says
I know he's convinced that CrossFit will always be around, and I think differently.
I don't disagree with you. The methodology will live on forever, 100%.
And he's saying like the affiliates won't.
The wind in our sails changes greatly with the
you turn into F45 with barbells.
I agree.
Right. And it's like that becomes died down eventually. And that's what I'm concerned of.
Go find a podcast about F45. Go find a podcast about Orange Theory. Right? It's just a gym. That's all it is. There's a difference. There's a reason
people who
why
want to feel good about themselves that aren't actually doing anything.
Right. Like there's a difference. And I'm not saying the sport is the competition side, the game side is what has to be there, but it does draw an entire world together for a community, things that are bigger than that. And yeah, great. There's CrossFit as a gym down the road, and you can go across the country and find a CrossFit gym. It is different if you don't have that. And if that's what gets torn down so we could have the top 20 athletes make a career out of it, I don't think it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. But okay, the only thing that can stop it then is the athletes not doing it.
The only
right? Like what else can stop it?
And they're going to be forced to make that decision next year, and we'll see what happens. And if it's some athletes really think this is the future, and then some athletes have that feeling of like, I can't do both. I'd still rather be crowned fittest on earth, like Dallin said, and let's say Dallin goes the CrossFit Games route, and let's say Medeiros goes World Fitness Project, right? Let's say Hatfield goes World Fitness and Colton goes Games. That would suck to not watch them compete in the same arena. So what do we do?
You just think
I think, and what I will continue to do is I'll cover it, but don't look to me to be like the most excited person. Don't expect to have all these prediction shows or a World Fitness Project mountain. Like, we would still watch it. We'll still talk about it like we are now. We're not going to ignore it. And I don't think, again, this past weekend was not ignoring it. Like, there are life events that happen. Tyler was there.
I was there.
But like, and we're going to use
with a baby on the way. It was not an easy fucking thing to do.
We're going to talk about World Fitness Project. We're going to think about it in terms of how it impacts the CrossFit Games.
But it's all it's going to be is a toggle on down. Like, it's one of the topics.
But don't expect us to be like, screw the CrossFit Games. We're going to cover this. This is the most important thing, because I think it is dangerous to CrossFit and the CrossFit Games, the athletes, and the community.
I wish the athletes would all watch this episode then. Not even the whole episode, but like just this part, so they can, because I had 5 athletes text me and say, why can't you guys get on board with the World Fitness Project? And I know Tyler had countless people ask him the same thing. And I want it to be made so clear that these are the lines in the sand, and we are team CrossFit survival, and they are not. And that is why we do what we do. It is not because we're hating. They have made this line.
Yeah.
And we're choosing to be on this side of it.
I've said it. If they put it in the off season, not in the middle of the game season,
I think it could be great.
We are 100% on board,
dude. Late August to mid January, like
amazing.
that's your season. Everything could coexist and everything would be great. And I want people to understand, I am not like pro WFP. I just want it to work for everybody so badly, because I know the athletes want it to work, and I care about the athletes, believe it or not. I know I speak pretty bad about them a lot, but I want it to succeed. I want the sport to grow, and I think it could help everything grow, but it cannot compete with the CrossFit Games. And that's on them. That's on them. So I'm team hater if we want to go that route, is what I'm saying.
Welcome aboard.
Spin's been the captain for a while. Do you understand where I'm at though? Like,
I don't understand. You were asking about solutions. What do we do? Does CrossFit take them down?
I need a box Will Morad. We need a pay-per-view boxing match.
I think there's going to be so many people pull this podcast and they'll be like, they haven't said that they are against CrossFit. And it's like, no, they haven't said it to you. They have said it to some people.
Will just said it in that. Will said it in that interview.
Well, I think Spin, you're reading into it. No.
No. The messaging has changed.
No, and I need clear questions asked to him, and so you can only answer yes or no. And if he can't do it, you've said yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes. And right. I think the WWE and the WCW did come together. We aren't those things. They were much larger at the time. We can't withstand that sort of blast right now. And I get it, dude. Like, I'm saying, like, oh, CrossFit, like, they should be able to withstand. They should be able to stand on their own. They fucking can't right now. And that's why it's like, okay, what do we do, John? You were asking. CrossFit can't do anything right now. They can't. They don't have the money. Berkshire doesn't want to fight. They have to try to sell. WFP might be a potential buyer, so they can't go against the WFP right now. They can't do anything about this. There is one way through this, and it's Rich Froning.
Okay, I like it.
Go ahead,
Lee Frazier, 99. Thank you for covering all the CrossFit topics so well. Jump ship. You're right. Rich Froning for CEO. With that,
I'm all for it.
You like it?
What?
You like that?
If it means that we succeed, yes, I'm all for it. I don't care how we get there. I just want CrossFit to survive. I want the Open to stay. I want the community to be excited about the Open again. And I want the games to always be the Super Bowl of fitness. That is my whole agenda is that. I don't go around and say that I care about European athletes and then not cover the French throwdown. That's not what I do, Spin, because somebody else has paid me. I say exactly what I want to say, and I follow through on everything. That's one thing. I think, Tyler, you might have said this. Whatever I say to your face,
it was good. I did.
Whatever I say to your face, that's what I'm saying behind your back. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. I have no agenda at all. I want people to work together, but I think I'm nicer actually in person than most people. But there's no hidden agenda. If we're gonna go to war, then we're gonna go to war. And I'm all for Rich if Rich means that we win the war. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna leave you with this. Will Morad, come join our show next week. John wants to ask you some questions.
If you have the balls, Will Morad, and if you don't, then that shows us what type of man you are. Okay.
We'll see you next week, Will.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.